race fans, Pirate here with Black Flag Racing TV, and it is Monday night, and that means it's time for GR4 Lottery Racing Series. We absolutely love this one. For those of you who haven't watched before, 15 cars are put on a wheel. That wheel was spun 15 times for 15 entrants, and whatever car you got is your car for this 10 race series. Some got some great cars, some got some even better cars. Everyone wants the Alpha though. Everyone wants the Alpha. But here we are. We are on week 3. Week 3 already. Bloody hell, that was quick. And we're at Trial Mountain, and it's GR4 time. So, quick rundown. They're currently qualifying. Let's give you a rundown of what the skinny is, so everyone knows what's occurring. I don't know. You know what's occurring, you can understand what's going on, can't you? So, there we go. So, basically, these are your race settings. 3 30-minute races. First 2 are grid start fastest first. Then we've got a slowest first rolling start. It's 1 hot lap qualifying. That simple. That's it. So we've got a little. They're just doing a couple of practice laps now, and then it is 1 hot lap qualifying. That's it. Once your hot lap's done, you park up at turn 2. That is your time. If you fuck it up, tough shit. Late morning random weather, 6 times dilation of time. BOP is off. Tuning is restricted to 700 pp. No nitrous though. Tyres, any tyres can be used. You can use any one you like, but they're going to wear at 6 times, and the fuel tank is going to deplete at 6 times. Refill 5 litres per second. Currently here at Trial Mountain week 3. Lego Majority East next week. The best 8 results will count. That simple. 3 races, a lot of points on offer. So where are we currently at in terms of the table? Going into week 3. So here we go. There is Kevin at number 1 position at the moment in that Porsche Cayman. VR46 in the Genesis in 2nd place, 113 points, just 30 points behind. He can overcome that in just 2 races today. That's easy. Aussie in the Huracan showing very, very good form in the Huracan actually. A couple of podium places for him so far, 106 points. Then PM10 in the McLaren. And this is going to be a week he drops because he is currently lying on a beach, grabbing some rays and drinking some beers. Thanks, mate. Thanks, Armin. It's good to see you, buddy. TJ, he's in the McCann. He had a really good week last week. A couple of podiums up to 92 points. Wiggy in the Atenza. Didn't ride the car week 1. Starting to come into it actually with that car. Avalon in the Alpha. Terrible first week out in the car. Then realised it's actually a really, really good car. Had a fantastic week last week. Up to 7th place, 88 points. GMAC not loving the M4 at the moment, but no doubt in my mind that he will come to love that car as everyone else does. Then Craig in the GTR. Where is Craig? There he is in that GTR. Lovely purple colouring on that GTR. He's currently sitting in 9th place. Nick at WRX has decided to step out of Black Flag. So when I update the table, I will remove him from the said table. That does mean, of course, that the WRX is back up for offer. So if anybody wants to jump into this tournament now, while there's still a chance, the WRX is up for grabs if you want it. Sausages, there he is in that Lancer, and he is finally glad to be home. Last time he was at home was in June. Then he went on holiday, snapped his leg in 100,000 places, finally got home to the UK after a couple of months of some operations, has been in Cornwall all this time, is now back at home. A very cold flat because the window's been open since he went home. But welcome back, buddy. Phil in the F-Type Jag. He was in the room. I think he's dived out. I'm sure he'll be back very soon. As we see Grid Troopers sideways in the Feather. Janie AG not with us today. Did race in race number 1. Hopefully he'll get a day off and he can come and race with us again. Grizz, there we see him, but he's in that Feather. That Ferrari 458. And Cool Runnings raced last week in the Corvette C7. Still undergoing a move to the UK, so bits and pieces going on for him at the minute. So there you go. They are the runners and the riders for today's race. So without further ado, let's have a look at what's occurring. I'm sure Avalon will let us know when when qualifying starts. It's not going to be long, I wouldn't have thought, before we hit that one sort of that one hot lap qualifying. Completely forgot what it was called. Chris struggling a little bit about feathers today. Has he been messing with the settings? Bit more down for maybe. There is Phil. I do be back in that jack. So, very quickly, just going to pop something up on the screen for you. Look, we all know what's going on in the United States and Canada at the minute with the disaster. Look, there is a little thing I meant to. I will stick the link later down in the description. If you can help or you want to help, give them some cash dollar. Anything you can do will help. But it's down there if you do want to donate anything. I'll stick it in the description later. Of course, the Black Flag Racing is brought to you by Jog Engine Machinery and Club Leaf, our two sponsors. And if you want to make sure you don't miss any of the action, then make sure you click that subscribe button and get a notification every time I go live. And you can listen to my dulcet tones, which I described to you the other day as being fueled by fags and shouting at stupid, which I think is a pretty accurate description, because that's pretty much all I do all day. Anyway, here we are. So let's see who is on. Who's on a tasty lap? At the minute, Kevin is chucking out. I mean, that's a ridiculous time there from Kevin. 1:52.7. Lucked out a little bit with that Cayman. You're kind of hoping when your fastest guy is in a lottery for a car, you're kind of hoping he gets the bag of shit that no one wants. But this guy lucks out. He actually jumped into the tournament late, so there's a lot less on the wheel. And lucked out with the Porsche Cayman. So he is on. He's on an out lap, so we can actually see him on a fast lap in a minute. Who else is on a fast lap? Anyone else? Who's that? Right, so here is Phil on a fast lap in the Jaguar. So, trial mounted, you're on this right hand side. You're 6th gear, you're dropping down 5th gear, 4th gear, just to get that car turned in. Not too much on the brakes though. Stay on that power. You want to lift just to get round this bend, and then you're back on the power again before you go under the bridge. A little touch of brakes, get that down to the apex as much as possible, then back on the power and let it drift as wide as you dare towards that bank. Again, left hand side on the brakes, get it turning. Quite a tricky turn here, but you can get on the power earlier than you think. Another right hander here. Again, catch that apex. You want to, if you want to see a really good way to take that corner, PM10, who's on our page, done a really good video, the best way to take that corner. And I'll tell you what, I've shaved some time off watching that. So you come around this left hand side, and this is the fastest part of the track. Go up the hill under this bridge with some slipstream. Even going uphill, you can make some really good overtakes here. And you come up through here, and the graphics on this game are on the PS5. As you come out here and the sunlight hits you, brilliant. On the right hand side, you're looking for that little sign, and just after there is where you hit the brakes, and the road's got a bit of a camber on it, so you can take that quicker than you think, letting the camber kind of drag you around the corner. Little lift for there, then you're on the power again before you drop down into 2nd gear, turning in this apex, and again on the power. You've got this big left-hander coming up here, dropping down to 3rd gear. Well, he's taking 2nd. I usually do it in 3rd. Maybe depends what car he's driving. Then he's on that right-hand side, past the pit entrance there on the left. You head down the hill, big braking zone here. Now, this is key. You want to get really tight here and give yourself the widest turn into the start-finish straight. You can get on the power much earlier. Didn't get on as early as I think you would have liked there. But certainly, if you get that right, you can certainly get some time. He's testing out the medium tyres at the minute. Obviously, you can wear whatever tyres you like for qualifying. So you can do your 1 lap qualifying on those soft tyres if you so wish. Some choose not to, because I suppose you can't be asked to change tyres. But the only problem with that is that you have to stop in turn 2 after you qualify. There is no rule about going back to the pits, but you obviously can't go in the pits, put more tyres on, and then have another go. So race starts in 2 minutes time, and that will give us the first thing will be the 1 lap qualifying. Assuming that he of course remembers, because as we well know, Avalon has a short memory when it comes to race settings sometimes. But you know, it is what it is. When he's the host, he sets the rules, as I say. But fastest lap at the minute is a 52.7 from Kevin 77, which is, you know, you can't fault a lap that good. It is a pretty damn good thing. Doing a lap of that kind of pace. But the thing is, this is a very, very abrasive track. And because it's such an abrasive track, you aren't necessarily going to be able to maintain that kind of pace right there. Certainly not for really sustained time, and certainly not on those soft tyres. But we'll see how this pans out. There is 3 races. One of them is, for all intents and purposes, the first grid. So we will certainly see how that pans out. Medium tyres not looking too long in the tooth either. They don't seem to be holding out too well. We certainly know that the soft tyres don't hold out well here, because this track just seems to carve through your tyres at a rate of knots. It's almost as though the tarmac here is made up of glass. But that was Phil's best lap. Phil just pulled out 57.7, some way off the pace at the minute. Yellow Sausages in that Lancer. The only one that hasn't done a livery, that's because he doesn't do liveries. I do them for him, and I haven't done it yet. TJ in the Renault Megane. So yeah, quick run through. So yes, we've got Stormfly in the Genesis. Kevin 77 in the Renault Megane. Stormfly with a 52.3 in that Genesis. Didn't have a great race last week at Dragon Trail, but certainly got something out of that Genesis today. So yeah, Kevin in the Cayman, TJ in the Renault Megane. Yellow Sausages in that Mitsubishi Lancer. So there we go. So race will start. They didn't do the one-shot qualifying, which they should have done. Naughty, because that's kind of the point of this. But nevertheless, here we go. Race will begin now. So Stormfly currently on pole. Kevin 77 is second. Avalon Shadow third. TJ fourth. Craig in fifth. Yellow Sausage sixth. Aussie in seventh. Phil in eighth. Where is Wiggy? Oh, there he is. Wiggy's in ninth place. Did he not? What's going on? Why? Oh, there we go. And you know what we've got to do? We've got to exit and we've got to jump back in to get this view. So Stormfly is away. Let's get all the information on the screen. There we go. Stormfly away. Kevin 77 behind him. Already with a penalty though. Where's that penalty? Stormfly with a 1.5 second penalty already picked up. Don't know where he got that from. He's just, why are people diving out the room? I'm assuming there was an issue then. So everybody jumping out for whatever reason. Is it because they didn't do the one-shot qualifying? I imagine that's probably the case. I hope so anyway. It's very difficult actually to communicate to these guys while I'm doing this. So I don't know what's going on. Could really do with a bit more communication in all honesty. What's occurring? Why are people leaving the room? Oh, everyone's leaving the room. Okay, host is ending the game. Don't know what's going on there, but everyone's left the room. I'm assuming there was some sort of problem with either somebody getting in or I don't know. I really don't know. I couldn't see any problem. But I'm clearly not privy to that information. Information that I will probably get later. Find out what's occurring. I might jump on during the in between the two races and find out, or in between those three races and find out what's occurring. So, not much really to talk about, is there? So we can bring the table back up while we're waiting to see what's going on. Let's do that. There's the current standings. For you, like something for you to see while we wait for the new room to arrive. Well, here we go. New room has arrived. I will jump in, and hopefully this one works. Room's currently unavailable. It would be, wouldn't it? So, PD put out a update last week, if you remember, and that update said as one of the things they were doing was improving lobby stability. Well, fuck you, PD, because you didn't. I've seen more stable relationships round behind the bins at the back of a nightclub than the stability on your servers, guys. But there you go. That's my regular PD rant over. So we can take this back off again anyway. And hopefully this time, and please ignore my LGBTQ plus car. That's a tribute to my daughter. Yes, it's you remembered the Heartland qualifying. Quality stuff. Always good when they remember the Heartland qualifying. I'll probably tick in, shouldn't I, just in case. Yeah, let's do that, because when I don't tick in, everything goes horribly fucking wrong. So, boom, 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 Shankar. And he's back in a room. And we know, I don't know why I'm doing this, because I'm going to have to jump out again after hot lap qualifying. So, hot lap qualifying is very simple. You do an out lap, you do one quick lap, you park at turn 2, and you shut up and wait for the race to start. That's it. Nothing else to talk about. Just be drink then. So I'm assuming we're back in. Kevin in the Cayman, Phil in the Jaguar, Stormfly in the Genesis, Craig in the GTR. Love that car, love that car. TJ in the Renault Megane, Aussie Restart in that. I was going to call it a Lamborghini Diablo. I haven't been a Lamborghini Diablo since I was a teenager. That's the Huracan. Bloody Diablo. It doesn't even look like a Diablo. Well, I suppose it doesn't look like it because it's a Lamborghini. But no, that's not a Diablo. That is the Huracan. Avalon Shadow in the phenomenal. This is the best car. The single best car on this game. Absolutely love it. And I know there was only a GR4 version of this car. But I would love it if they made a GR3 version. In fact, I'd love it if they made a GR3 and a GR2 and a GR1 and a super Formula car out of this Alpha. It is brilliant. Wiggy in the Atenza. Can he start to get this car dialed in? No, he's not a fan of the car. You know, he made no secret about that. But this car was a really, really good car. Certainly a couple of updates ago anyway. I haven't driven it recently, but I can't see that it would be that much worse than it has been. And conscious of popular belief, I'm not actually racing in the room, but there I am, just for posterity. So, it is Gridge Troopers coming back in. He is in the Fez. I was just waiting for him to check in. Our friend from across the pond, our American counterpart. As you see, we are very, I was going to say very, very Brit friendly, but we are spread across Europe. Quite some way. We've got Kevin, Greek Special Forces monster, and our resident, what's the word you're looking for? Resident alien would be a good word to describe it. Phil from the UK in the Jaguar. There is Stormfly. He is from the land of the Dutch, Netherlands. Craig from the UK. Yellow Sausages also from the UK. Currently in MK, but was in Cornwall until earlier this week. TJ also from the land of the Dutch. Big Max Verstappen fans, and so of course, why wouldn't you be? Aussie Rooster from Torquay in Devon. Lovely part of the world. If you've not been and you do come to the UK, you need to check it out. It's pretty damn cool. Surfing Haven. Avalon Shadow. He is in Spain, but he is a Serbian German. So very multicultural. We're like a United Colours of Benetton advert. If anyone remembers those, it was where we had anyone in the UK might remember. I don't know how far reaching across Europe they were. I know they were showing them in Prague in the mid-90s. But essentially they just had a picture with children from all sorts of nationalities and colours and creeds and religions on a poster, and advertised their clothes as being for everybody in that way. We from Wales, obviously flying the British flag, but he is from Wales. He in the Atenza. Gridge Troopers from United States of America, and I'm sure I haven't just offended an entire nation with my very poor Very poor copy of the accent. I think I've covered everyone. If I've missed you out, I'm very sorry. So there we go. So, 1 lap qualifying over. Kevin 77 is where? Well, Stormfly's got a 152.3. Kevin 77, 152.8. Avalon Shadow 155.1. TJ not finished his lap yet. Where's he going to end up? Wiggy 156.5. Not the most solid of laps from him. I wonder if I can get like a really cool shot of all these guys here for the Discord. That's not a bad one. Let's turn this off for a sec. Turn off driver lanes on. Off. Let's do that. How else can I get a good shot of these guys? Oh look, that's pretty cool. I cocked it up, what did I do? It's not going very well, guys. Not going very well at all. There we go, that's what I wanted. We'll try and get a shot like that. I'm just farting around a minute while we're just waiting for... Oh, that's a good one. If I can get that in the shot and I can zoom that in. So, well, I don't know what we're waiting for. I think we're waiting for Sausages to come home now. So, display all. Let's go back. Let's get back on with it, shall we? No more farting around with photographs. So, fastest man out of Stormfly, 152.3. He will be on pole, and we are ready to go. Kevin in second place. We've got Avalon in third, TJ in fourth, Sausages in fifth, Craig in sixth, Wiggy back in seventh. Aussie Rooster surprised me actually, bearing in mind his recent performances, back in eighth, Phil in ninth, and Grid Troopers bring up the rear in 10th place. So we have one light, we have 2, 3, 4, 5 lights are on, and we're just waiting for that light to go out, and we will be away. And great start there from Craig in the GTR, already coming up the back of TJ. Let's quickly jump back in and see what we can see. So Stormfly does retain the lead of the race from Kevin 77. Driver info, oh, there we go. TJ up into third place, makes the move around Avalon Shadow. Avalon Shadow drops in the Alpha 155 into fourth place. Now the only weakness this Alpha has is its high-end RPM. It tends to get, it's very quick off the line, very quick out of corners, but on some of the faster tracks can struggle a little bit. Now the thing we do know about Avalon Shadow is that he is the master of fuel saving. In fact, he's so good at fuel saving that BP have actually ordered a fatwa on him. They've ordered him a hit. They've put a price on the man's head because he won't spend money on petrol. There is Yellow Sausages back in fifth in that Lancer. Big gap, 1.9 seconds already to Phil in the Jaguar. Half a second up, just over half a second up from Aussie Rooster. Aussie's made a couple of places up in that Lambo with Craig in the GTR, who looked like he was making a great start. Back in 8th place now, with Wiggy in the Atenza, crawling all over the back of his car. Absolutely crawling all over him. And Grid Troopers at the moment still in that fight. Has there been a little coming together of these guys? Now everybody, well, apart from Wee's on those soft tyres. Grid Troopers running the mediums on that Ferrari. So Wiggy on the soft. We've got Craig running hard. That will explain why Craig has dropped back in that GTR. He's going for a long run on the hard tyres. So he's going to stay out a little bit longer than most. There's Aussie Rooster. He's opted for the mediums on that in that Lamborghini. Phil also running the mediums in the Jaguar. So a lot of medium tyre runners. The Yellow Sausages though running 5th place on hard tyres. Now Mitsubishi Lancer, really good choice I think. I mean the Lancer is very, very punishable cars. Good evening Jason, how you doing buddy? Can't wait till you're back in with us racing here. Although we do see you at Super Formula Saturday, of course. TJ in that McGann was in 4th place, but just pulls the move out on Avalon in that Alpha, and they are really racing it on side by side, these two, neither giving up the space. Avalon not prepared to give it up. TJ not prepared to give it up. They are properly side-by-side racing, these two. And at the moment, very clean, very fair, no mistakes. And that's the racing we love to see. Looks like Avalon got quite a good exit. It tucks in behind for the slipstream. Can he pull out? I think he pulled out a little bit early. Although, look at that Alpha go. We know the Alpha's great out of the corners. And he makes that pass. But has he made the pass too early? Because he's giving up now. He's giving up the slipstream to TJ. Can TJ get that little French rocket around him? He can't this time. Avalon very, very good at holding on to that inside line. But TJ still having a go out the back of him. This is the view from TJ's car. Is Avalon going to be able to pull away from him now? Can he pull away? Is TJ just got the measure of him so far? Fuel-wise, very, very similar on formula. It looks like Avalon on those mediums, he's on the mediums, might be pushing the fuel a little bit this time. Awesome, that'd be great, Jason. But so far, great racing from these two. Great racing. Avalon just opening up a little bit of a gap. The pressure off for the time being. But if he stays in the slipstream range, TJ can really put pressure back on the back of Avalon's shadow. But out front, Kevin 77 in the Porsche Cayman. 2.1 seconds clear at the moment of Stormfly VR46. Although, big difference here. Soft tyres for the Cayman. We've got hard tyres for the Jägermeister Bosch Genesis of VR46. So that is a race in itself. Two completely differing strategies, very similar on pace. Although in terms of lap pace, a 1:54.7 from Kevin in lap number 2. We're in lap number 3 now. Lap 2, a 1:54.7. That's very quick race pace, but he is on those soft tyres, and they will not last very long. Stormfly on those hards, he'll be able to burn all that fuel out. There'll still be loads of fuel on board Kevin's car when he has to go in and change those soft tyres. Doesn't matter how good you are at tyre saving here, this track will rip the living shit out of your tyres. Avalon Shadow now comfortably third. He's opened that gap up to 2 seconds in the Alpha. Just starting now to dial it in here at Trial Mountain. And a great racetrack, Trial Mountain. It's got to be said. TJ sitting comfortably at the moment in 4th place. Did you? That is awesome, Jason. Awesome. If anyone looking at the chat wants to know what Jason's talking about, on Sunday evenings, while I'm off doing the Lithuanian GR3 Championship, these guys do a really, really cool handicap race, which at one stage I will get to stream it one day. And I will do it. It's awesome. So essentially, if you are an A+ or an A-rated driver, you only use the hard tyres. If you are a B-rated driver, you can only use the medium tyres. And if you are a C driver or below, you only get to use the soft tyres. And it does turn up some very interesting races. And Jason pulls out a second last night in the Alpha. And of course they all use the second car. They all use the Alpha 155 because it's fucking brilliant. But there we go. But he pulled out second place last night in that car. And that is phenomenal because I don't think I'll ever come second against these guys. Second to last maybe, but certainly not second. But good performance from you, my friend. So anyway, where are we further back? Phil had a much better race this week in that Jaguar. Really, really dialing it in 5th place. He's 4 seconds behind TJ. He's on no mediums. But I've got to say, if you look at that right front of the Jaguar, really taking some punishment. Excuse me. Now, the good thing is, because BIP is off and Training is on, you can use brake balance to negate some of the wear if you need to, which is always useful. Now, Aussie there, tucked in 6th place at the moment in the Lamborghini, just tucking in behind Phil in the Jaguar. Now, normally, actually, the Jaguar is the car, I don't know why I couldn't call it Jaguar. The Jaguar is usually the car that Aussie uses quite a lot. But, you know, being a lottery, you don't get to pick your car. My spinny wheel does. And as I said, if anyone wants to get involved in this, there is a WRX back on the wheel, and you can have it. It's yours, but you just have to enter. Yellow Sausages, looking comfortably second on those hard tyres. He's going to run some way. He's on lap 4 now. Easily another 4 laps, or maybe even 5 laps on those hard tyres. I'm sure with his fuel saving ability, I think we're looking around lap 10. Remember, it's a 30-minute race. Nobody is going to get through this without pitting at least once. And we say that, Stormfly, even though he was on the hard tyres, has gone in very, very early. Surprising tactic, being on those hard tyres. It must just be that he's not getting any sort of pace out of them. But Wiggy, on the soft tyres, coming in already, and he's ruined those tyres. So lap 4 is the soft tyre run heaven, or haven, shall I say. But Stormfly, why has Stormfly gone in the pits so early on the hards? That will be an interesting conversation to be had. So that allows Kevin 77 on those soft tyres, who will probably pit this lap. Opens up the gap to 6.5 seconds. Now, does Stormfly know something about the undercut here that nobody else does? Because he's on the hard tyres, he didn't have to pit, he could have stayed out, he would have taken the lead of this race, well, certainly the de facto lead of this race. But chose to come in really early, a lap earlier than the soft tyre running Kevin 77. Avalon Shadow on those mediums. Now, he is still going to go, well, he's lap 5 now. We won't see him hitting the pits until around lap 8 or 9. He's going to hang it out there for as long as possible. Certainly going to try and take it, if he can, to that glorious 15-minute mark, which means that the race is a one-stopper for him. There's no limitations on which tyres you use. You can use just softs or just mediums or just hards. No restrictions. It's entirely down to you and the setup of your car. TJ up into third. Still 2 seconds behind Avalon. Has decided to, I think, settle into the race a little bit more fuel on board. Actually, that 155, I suppose that is another little downfall of the 155, in that it can be a little bit thirsty when you're driving it. But we know that this guy can fuel safe like the wizard that he is. So Kevin in the pits, which promotes Avalon Shadow up into the lead of this race. That will promote also TJ up into second. The gap 2.7 seconds as they begin lap 6 here at Trial Mountain, just coming up to the 1/3 distance mark, 10 minutes into the race. These guys aren't going to be pitting for another 2, maybe 3 laps, lap 8, lap 9. Aussie Rooster in that Lamborghini up into 3rd place on the medium tyres also. So it looks like the good opening gambit strategy was the medium tyres. All 3 front runners now on those mediums. Phil as well running the mediums, but look at the state of that front right tyre. Did he hang this car out too long? Well, yes, because already Yellow Sausages is through, Craig is through, and that tyre is gone. It's useless. Nobody can drive on a tyre that wrecked. There is literally no tread left on it. Yellow flag up ahead. Who has had a crash? Doesn't look like anyone I can see. It looks actually Avalon. It looks like Avalon's had a problem because TJ is 7.7 seconds clear. So Avalon has had a spin. Don't know where that spin was, but it has cost him dearly. It's cost him a lot of time. He was nearly 3 seconds clear of TJ. He is now 8.5 seconds behind. He's got Aussie Rooster under 3 seconds behind him now. So big spin, big off, big smashes or wall, whatever it was for Avalon, has dropped him down the order. Big blow actually in his quest for points. There's Craig in the GTR promoted up into 4th place. And where is Phil? Phil is dropping right down this order now. Stayed out 1 lap too many on those tyres. Now I don't know if that was a deliberate act that he wanted to stop this race and go in around the time he's going in, but he is really struggling this lap to get this guy. And let's be fair, I mean, he wasn't great on lap 5 either. Not quite sure what his ploy is, but he was determined. He's not going in, or he is going in this time. Did he miss the pits last time? Because it looked to me like he didn't see where the pit lane was. So Aussie also coming into the pits from, he's currently in 8th, but he won't stay there because he went in first. So leader of this race is TJ, 8.2 seconds clear in the French Renault Megane. Very good all-round car, this. Not a huge fan of the actual Megane. I have had one, but it wasn't the greatest car I've ever owned. Avalon Shadow in the Alpha 155, the single great racing car in the history of racing. There I've said it. 10.5 seconds clear now of Stormfly. Stormfly with a 1 second penalty in the Jägermeister Genesis. 10.3 behind Avalon, 1.1 ahead of Craig. So he jumped in early. He went onto the soft tyres. So far the undercut has worked for him, because his closest rival on the track, Kevin 77, is back in 6th place. However, these soft tyres only have a couple of laps in them, so maybe that was his ploy to stay up for a little bit, jump in and do some really, really rapid laps in the Genesis, and then go in and try something else. Don't quite know what this strategy is though. Is he going to go for hards again, or is he going to go for a couple of runs on the mediums? Craig up into 4th place. He's had a little bump. He's got a little bit of damage there, but that will burn off. And he goes, already seen it burn off already. Only light damage. We originally planned this for a heavy damage tournament, but popular demand demanded that we change it, and we dropped it down to light damage. And we're trusting people not to drive like twats. Of course, that will change if they do continue to drive like twats and we have any stewarding issues. But so far, not bad. So Avalon in, Stormfly in, Yellow Sausage in, TJ in. That promotes Craig in the GTR into the lead of this race. He's taken those hard tyres, and he's going to take it to the midway point of this race. Quite comfortably as well, I think. Which means he's going to have a good run to the line in part 2 of the race, in his 2nd stint. Kevin 77, not far behind him. He's only 1.9 seconds behind him at the moment. Apologise for laughing in the background. My missus and my daughter are playing with the dog indoors, and the dog is a div. And just as we say that, we talk about my dog being a div, and there we see something that is not divvy. It's an overtake from Kevin 77. He's on the medium tyres, going to be racy. We expected he was going to be quick anyway. He's not the fastest man on track though. That is Stormfly, VR46, a 1:53.6 on those when he went on those soft tyres. So this race is not over by any stretch of the imagination. Just wonder if the strategy was wrong for Stormfly. But remember, this is only the first of 3 races. Anything can happen in the next, essentially 90-minute race, for want of a better expression. So, Kevin 77 in the lead, 1.2 clear of Craig. He's 17 seconds up the road from TJ. He will be pitting at the end of this lap, which is lap 8. This will be a 16 lap race here around Trial Mountain. Is it Trial or Trail? It's Trial Mountain, isn't it? I suppose it pays to take notes and read, doesn't it? But as you well know, I don't do that. That would involve some level of research and some level of caring. Of course I care. Of course I care. TJ in 3rd, running well. He has been in the pits. He's back out in 3rd. He's 1.6 seconds clear of Avalon Shadow in the hour for 1:55. Has Avalon come out on different tyres? No. He's running those mediums again. He's going for the 3-stop. Little bit of a wobble there for him. Broke a little bit too late. Very late into the turn. Nowhere near the apex. That's going to cost him a bit of time. But Craig finally into the pits for his first stop, as is Wiggy for stop number 2 on those soft tyres. Wiggy was up to 5th place when he went into the pits. So where is... let's have a look at the back of the pack. We haven't looked at the back for a while. There's Grid Troopers in that feather. 29 seconds back from Phil on those medium tyres. Has he run? He's run out of fuel. He's run out of fuel in the feather. He's taken it 1 lap too far. So he was clearly trying to stretch out in that Ferrari 458 and has stretched it just 1 little pull too far and finds himself, and that's a long way to go when you run out of fuel. So where did he run out? He's got a... I'm sorry to laugh, Chris. Sorry to laugh, buddy, but you are going to be about 6 months behind the rest of the pack when you finally make it to the pits. And I'm laughing because I remember when I did something similar at Mount Panorama a couple of weeks ago, which was a really divvy move. So, listen, mate, don't feel bad because I've done divvy things like that. And mine was worse because I fuel map 6 to try and get home. I ran out of fuel, not even a quarter of the way around Mount Panorama. But for no other reason than I knew I was supposed to pit that lap, got in a bit of a battle towards with another driver for position towards the pit entry, and was concentrating so much on defending my position, even though I was going into the pits, I actually forgot to pit. Put it on fuel map 6 just to try and make it round. Properly ran out of fuel. Had to do the whole of Bathurst with no fuel on board. Pit, forgot it was on fuel map 6, left it there, and then wondered why I was 4.5 seconds or about 3.5 seconds off my pace for the rest of the race. I was cursing the tyres and the track, everything. So the tyres also going off on that Fezzer. So bit of a problem there for Grizz. Don't know what his plan is. Can he get it? Can he even get it back to the pits? That's the question. Anyway, where are we? So Yellow Sausages. Was that Yellow Sausages just going past? No, he wasn't. Yellow Sausages is in 9th place. He is 6.5 seconds behind Wiggy. He's on the hard tyres. I think he's running to the end there. Wouldn't be surprised at all to see him run to the end. Wiggy in 8th place in that Tenza. He's opted just for soft all the way and hoping that he can pick up points, do it that way. Hasn't worked out for him so far, to be fair. But maybe he just hates the Tenza that much he won't use any other tyres. There is a surprise coming up at round 5 for these guys if they... We'll talk about that now. I might talk about it later. I might make you wait till next week. I haven't decided yet. There is Phil in the Jaguar, running in 7th on those medium tyres. He will probably pick a round lap. I don't know. He might be able to make it to the end, to be fair. Where are we? We're 10 minutes left. He's got... I think if he's brave with those tyres... I mean, you can't get much braver than he did in his first stint, to be fair, can you? So we'll see how he gets on. But Craig in the GTR, 1.5 second penalty for him. He was at one stage in the lead of this race. He is one stopping though, and he's only 9 seconds behind Ozzy at the moment. 48 seconds back from the leader, but that means nothing because it's quite a relatively long pit stop here. And if he can keep up a reasonable pace while he's one stopping, he's going to be in and amongst that towards the end of the race, I think. Aussie Rooster in 5th. Comfortably midfield in the Top Gun Rooster inspired Lamborghini, not Diablo. 6.3 seconds at the moment behind the fastest man on the track, Stormfly Verstappen VR46 in the Jägermeister Genesis. He's on those medium tyres, so changed his strategy a little bit, but that would have been his second pit stop, after he pits really early on the hards, unnecessarily early on the hards, then went on to the softs, now running the medium tyres. 12.5 seconds behind the Alpha 155 of Avalon Shadow, up to 3rd place. Has had some great battles with TJ this entire race, and the battles are still raging between these two. We've got one car that is red and black, we've got another car that is black and red, and the two of them, we've got France versus Italy. This really is a battle for the ages between Avalon Shadow, the king of the fuel savers, in a car that doesn't like you to save fuel, against TJ, the king of the bell ends. And here we go, big move from Avalon. He had a great exit there in that Alpha, as we'd expect. Makes the overtake look very easy, and TJ can only watch as Avalon disappears up into the distance. Great move from him. So all change out front. TJ back into 3rd in the Renault Megane. Avalon Shadow up to 2nd. They're 19 seconds at the moment behind Kevin 77, who just pulls into the pits. So he will again lose the lead of this race. He's run those medium, but this will be... will it be his last stop? I think it will be. I think it depends. Well, it really depends what size he puts on. If he puts on softs, it bloody won't be. If he puts on mediums, it may be enough. Because what we're looking at, 16 laps, I think, to the end of this race. So TJ through, he's in the lead. I was going to say he's overtaken Avalon Shadow. But that's because Avalon Shadow has jumped into the pits. Now, very strange that he, if you look at what fuel he's got on board compared to his tyres, hasn't married up those two strategies. Now, bearing on tyres and fuel are depleting at the same rate. So it is really down to how you're using those tyres and whatnot. So Kevin, is he out yet? He's coming out of the pits now. Where's Aussie Rooster? Aussie Rooster just coming round. He's not going to take 2nd place. Kevin does. 7.6 seconds on those soft tyres. He's planning on taking those to the end. Should have enough fuel on board, not worried about that. TJ on the mediums, not entirely sure he can take those tyres to the end. He may well do. He may well take those tyres to the end. We will see. But that gap is 7.5 seconds. Can't see it staying there. And these two did have an epic battle at Drag Trail last week. One that ended in tears. Hopefully this time this doesn't happen. A little bit difference of an opinion in who was at fault there, but I think we cleared that up by saying if you're behind and you hit them, it's your fault. Anyway, Kevin 77, 7.2 seconds, going to be chasing down that Renault Megane in the Porsche Cayman. So it is a Italian glamour. French cheesiness. Sorry to all you French people out there. I didn't mean it. French cheesiness versus the precision engineering of German Porsche. And there we've got the beauty and grace of the Italian supercar, Aussie Rooster. He will be pitting, I imagine, probably this lap for some soft tyres and a little splash of the brown stuff. There's Avalon. He's going to the end now. He's got enough fuel. He's got enough tyres. He's in fourth at the moment. We know Aussie's got to pull in. That's going to promote him to third. Then it is about whether he can chase down Kevin and TJ. There's Craig in the GTR. Again, another one to watch out for, really. Now, it looks to me that he's probably going to catch Aussie as well. He's done really well on that one stop. I'm going to take that car to the end. I think he's on for a good, solid midfield here. As he just comes round past the pit lane entrance, he's going to take fourth place. What sort of gap can he build on Aussie? We know Aussie's going to go on softs. We know Aussie's going to be very quick. The gap there is 2.3 seconds. But he's picked up a penalty. That is going to hurt him. You don't want to be picking up a penalty when you're on a slower set of tyres. You've got Aussie Rooster behind you, coming out on soft tyres. You've got the Pocket Rocket Stormfly VR46, the fastest man on the racetrack right now, on the medium tyres. You know, if I say that, he's the fastest man on the racetrack. But consistency has been a little bit of a problem for him in this Genesis. As you can see by some of those lap times, when he dials it in, he can dial in an absolute stonker. But when he doesn't, not so great. But he's done a 53.6. He's done a 53.7. We know that he's got this pace in him. But Aussie Rooster comes out in 67.4 seconds back. But he's gone for the medium tyres again. With only 3 laps left, I think softs would have been a good option, to be fair. But chosen not to go down that route. Softs is in 7th in the Lancer. 10 seconds back on the hard tyres. He is going to run to the end. Is he a bit vulnerable from Wiggy? Wiggy's on new softs. He's got a big gap to build up. He has pulled out at 56.3, which isn't too shabby in a car that he absolutely hates. Isn't too shabby, but that gives him, what is this, 8.2. So we'll see if he can close that gap down. Phil in the Jaguar, he's on those soft tyres as well. Also looking to go right. Very distinct possibility that these guys can actually catch yellow sausages on those hard tyres. Especially if you look at the fuel situation. Grizz Troopers though, awful time. He ran out of fuel before his first stint. He is several days back from the rest of us back. But TJ's still in the lead. But that gap is already down to just 0.8 of a second. So Kevin 77 on that lap pulls out a 1:53.4 out of the bag, like he's had it waiting there all day and just wasn't ready to play it. That is the ultimate racing card Uno. And here he goes trying to make the move. He's up in the slipstream. He can make this move with the slipstream. Here we are on board with Kevin as he comes up behind that Renault Megane, looking to make the move. Is he looking to make the move? Looks to me that he's holding back a little bit. It does give him the flash, lets him go. He knows that he can let him go by, so he gives him the flash, tells him which way he's going to let him go. Very fair racing there from TJ. He knew he couldn't hold off that charge, so good move from him. Can he keep up with him? Now he knows that he made up that gap. TJ, this is, knows that Kevin made up that gap in little more than a lap. So to be fair, that's a fight you don't really want to try and have. It's very difficult to defend against that kind of pace. Fazl's just joined the room. Actually, Fazl, if you're watching the YouTube and you've just joined the room, there's a WRX with your name on it. If you want to get involved, my friend, so grab yourself a WRX, stick yourself a black flag logo on it, and get involved for the next race. If of course you are listening. If you're not, and you're in the chat, somebody telling me you can have a WRX and you can race with us. There we go. So Kevin in the lead, 1.7 seconds clear of TJ. Oh no, Faz left the room, so he doesn't want a WRX. Or maybe he's leaving to go get a WRX. Who knows? Well, we're going to leave it to buy one. TJ is 25.6 seconds clear of Avalon Shadow. That gap, for me, unassailable. Unassailable at this stage of the race. Is Craig able to make any inroads to Avalon? Well, the gap was 8 seconds. It's down 8.8. I would say not. But here comes Stormfly. He is 1.1 seconds back from Craig now. And on a massive charge. He's seen Kevin smash his fastest lap. He doesn't want to have any of that bullshit. He wants to have a little go. He's on the medium tyres. He's not going to beat that fastest lap, but he is going to show you how to put in a quick lap on medium tyres in that Jägermeister Genesis. And he's driving like he's had a few. He's driving like he's had a lot, actually, of Jägers. Right up now. There he is, right up now behind Craig, looking to find a way around that purple GTR. There is a move on there, potentially with slipstream here. Good exit here through the tunnel. And again, I did mention earlier, if you want to see how to take this perfectly, look at PM10's video tutorial on this. Brilliant. He is way up behind, almost ready to make the move without some slipstream. But he picks up the slipstreams and go up the hill. He's going to pull side by side. Has he got the poke? He's going past him. And as Vin Diesel would say, it doesn't matter whether you win by an inch or a mile. And that is a bit more than an inch. He goes into the turn. Ahead. Is there anything from Craig? Can he come back at him? Well, he's certainly tucked in behind that Genesis now. Has he got enough power, enough guile to get back past Stormfly in the Genesis? I think the Genesis on those medium tyres is going to hold him off. Aussie Rooster 13 seconds back, not closing the gap on Craig. So I think Craig is going to be the midfield wonder today with 5th place. So Aussie 12 seconds back, 15 seconds back to Yellow Sausages. Looks to me like Wiggy might have had a bit of a problem because Phil is on the sausages, got past him, but there's nothing left on those tyres, and Wiggy says yippee-ki-yay as Avalon Shadow finishes on lap 15 in 3rd place. So Phil goes through, Wiggy goes through on Phil. There is nothing left on Phil's soft tyres. Wiggy still got a little bit left. Yippee-ki-yay, MF, he says. They're going to be finishing on lap 15 as well. So just Kevin and TJ on lap 16 of this race. So Aussie Rooster comes home in 6th place. Yellow Sausages will bring it home in 7th in that Lancer. Wiggy couldn't catch him. Too many stops for me in those soft tyres. And it seems to be the order for Wiggy, but just soft after soft after soft. I have a feeling he may be taking up the offer we get at the end of round 5, which I'll talk about. Well, we're round 3. You know, I'm going to talk about it. Probably sometime during maybe between races 1 and 2, or between race 2 and 3. But there you go. Phil home in 9th place. So here we go. Here is the race leader, Kevin 77, in that brilliant Porsche Cayman. I'll tell you what, if you are ever looking for a classic car livery, classic racing car livery, particularly want to stick on a Super Formula or something like that, he has made some phenomenal copies of some of the most iconic F1 cars out there. The Tyrrell, the Mercedes, the B&H Jordan livery, which is a phenomenal one. Williams, whatever you want. But there we go. He comes home in the lead. TJ, what's happened to TJ? Well, I mean, it's not going to matter, or is it going to matter? Because he seems to be stuck. Has he? Oh, he's run out of fuel. So TJ's run out of fuel. His wheels are turning, but nothing's happening. Now, how do we deal with this? Because it technically classifies him as second, but he hasn't technically finished the race. Now, whether he's run out of fuel or not, you can make it to the finish line, and probably should. Don't know how I feel about that. I think you should try and get home. Let's assume he's having some sort of technical issue because he's up against the wall and the wheels are still turning. So it looks like there might be a... Let's hope there's a problem and he's not just being an arse. Let's go with that, eh? So I think we're just waiting for the finish clock to tick down. Chris Troopers finally does make it home. We'll see what the classification comes out. Will it classify TJ in second place? That is the question. Will I classify TJ in second place? That is the other question. But a great win there from Kevin77 from the Hellenic Knights Racing team. Obviously, and of Black Flag Racing. He's like a double teamer. Plays the field a little bit. So there we go. So that is race number 1 done and dusted. We've got 2 more races. They are both hot lap qualifying. The next one will be the same. It will be grid start. But the great races is always the final race where again you get your 1 lap shootout, but this time it's slowest first. It is a rolling start. We will be back with you very shortly with the next qualifying session. Let's jump out for a sec. Yeah, what happened indeed is what we need to find out. Obviously I'm not in chat. Yeah, I see that. I seen it was eating for the tyres. But what was the thinking behind jumping in so early on the hards? Because you had a lot of tyre left, buddy. You had a lot of tyre left, so I'm a bit surprised you jumped in so early. Well, yeah, I suppose you're just not getting the performance out of it. Because I mean, you weren't running too far back on the racetrack. It was a bit of a surprise for me. But yeah, let me know, man. Right, what am I going to do? I forgot what I was doing. My brain absolutely just farted, and it's been a crazy, crazy day. That's what it's been. So there we are, race number 1 over. Anyone out practicing? No. I want to see if I can find any pit crew doing stupid things. Because sometimes, if you're lucky, you can catch some very camp pit crew. That guy in the green's a bit weird. He keeps poking his head around the side there. They look like stormtroopers in black. What false hope that the undercut would work. Yeah, I suppose the undercut only really works if you're absolutely flying before you go in. If you're plodding around on hard tyres, it really doesn't have the same effect. I mean, it didn't do too badly, to be fair, but yeah, struggling with the tyres. But then, I mean, the Genesis does struggle with the tyres, but I think everyone here is struggling with tyres. It's a really, really shitty track for tyres. I mean, to get 4 laps out of the soft series is not a bad shout, to be fair. Right, so we're just waiting for the second round of qualifying to start. Talk amongst yourselves. I did have a little advertising reel I was going to put up, but I haven't finished it yet because mostly because I've been streaming quite a lot lately, and I'm inherently lazy, as you will know. I'm inherently lazy. If I can not do something, I will work very hard to make sure I do not do it. So a quick reminder of what exactly? Yeah, how about a quick reminder of the setup while we wait for this to jump back in. So it's 3 30-minute races, grid start, fastest first, 2 races. Rolling start, slowest first, hot lap qualifying. Love a bit of hot lap qualifying, who doesn't? Late morning, random weather, time 6 in time. So obviously, time has moved on. It is now dark. Darkness. Will he reset the room or will he do it from here? we'll see. Avalon has a very unique style of hosting in that he just does it how he likes to do it. He likes it just so. But we appreciate him for hosting so many lobbies for us. The onus wouldn't always be on the PS4 people hosting lobbies, but the problem is when PS5 people host lobbies, some PS4 people can't get in because PD and Sony are fucking shit at coding. Tyres times 6, fuel times 6, full tank for all. Slipstream and grip reduction is real. Penalties are strong, except for wall collision penalties. They're turned off because they are stupid. If you hit a wall, you've not only slowed yourself down, you've also damaged your car. Damage was heavy, but we've turned it off now and put it on light. Couple of reasons. One, the reason we started with heavy damage anyway was because we had a few stewarding issues and we were worried about people crashing into each other, but very quickly they realised they much prefer not crashing into each other than they much prefer being trusted to not crash into each other and then just not crashing into each other than they do having to repair their car every 2 or 3 laps. So we've dropped that down. We do have that rule about rage quitting, but we won't talk about that too much. But yeah, Brands Hatch week 1, we had Dragon Trail Seaside last week. This week we're at Trial Mountain. Then we're off to Lego Maggiore East, the Glen, Watkins Glen, Suzuka, hate it. Barcelona GP, which in contrast to Suzuka, I actually love. Tokyo East counterclockwise. That's another reason why we turned off heavy damage, because if you race at Tokyo, you spend more time in the pits than you do actually racing with heavy damage on. Deep Forest in reverse, just to switch things up a bit. And then for a very, very quick race, the Fuji Short Track will be race number 10 of season 1 of this GR4 lottery. And we will be doing this race again without question. We will be doing this race again. Or this race series again, should we say. So everyone doing, I believe they're out there ready for their one-shot qualifying. So let's go back to the action on track. Shall we do that? Let's do that. Remember, if you like what you see, click that subscribe button. The reason I want you to subscribe is one, so I know that we're very popular. Everyone wants to watch Black Flag Racing TV. But that's not the main reason. The main reason is because very soon I'm going to be turning off commenting for anyone that isn't a subscriber and hasn't been subscribed for at least a little while. Just purely because there are times I get bombarded. I mean, tonight's not too bad, but particularly in things like Fusion and some of the bigger events I do, it can get a little bit overwhelming with people jumping in, chucking messages at me, disappearing, but not actually clicking the subscribe button and showing us some love. So, show us some love and click that subscribe button. Right, anyway, here we are on board with winner of race number 1, Kevin 77. Craig there came 5th last race. Yellow Sausages, good lap from him. Has he just turned in? I know he hasn't. I thought he turned in a blistering lap there. But he is on his hot lap. He is the lead car at the moment. So I just wet in the throat. I know I sound husky, but I do need to keep my throat wet or it's or I'll lose my voice completely. I do feel like I probably will soon, and then I'll have to type very quickly in order to commentate on these races. Can you imagine that? Or get one of those machines like Stephen Hawking had. And he is going right now and making the overtake. That's enough insulting smart people. Let's carry on with the racing. Let's keep it professional, Herb. Keep it professional. Yes, Sausages, Kevin 77, Craig, TJ, Wiggy, Avalon, Rooster, Stormfly, Phil, Grizz Troopers. Who's going to put in a quick time? Now, the thing is, we know Grizz was slow here, and he won't mind me saying that he is one of the slower guys in Black Flagging racing. But the great thing about one-shot qualifying is you only need 1 or 2 of the faster guys ahead to cock it up and just throw further up the grid. That's great. And it's even better if they cock it up when it's reverse grid. Well, actually, it's not good when they cock out reverse grid. What you want is when it's reverse grid, you want them to put in the best time they've ever done while you're on the back of the pack. And you want them to cock it up here so you can get a little bit further forward. But here we go. Yellow Sausages comes round to complete his qualifying lap. He goes through the dreaded penalty line in that Mitsubishi Lancer. Kevin just behind him. Was Kevin held up any by him? I doubt it. I think Yellow Sausages is quick enough. So 57.2 for him. Kevin, 53.0. What can you say? 53.0. Can you guys actually see that? Is that just my eyes deceiving me? Or did he just do a lap around here in a GR4 car in 1 minute 53 seconds? I bet he can't do a 152.5. Oh my god! Oh my god! I just literally, you couldn't make that up. I said, I bet he can't do it in a 152.5, and then Stormfly goes, actually I can. Does it in a 152.496. Absolutely, do you know what that is what they call comedic timing. Absolutely brilliant. What a lap from Stormfly. Nothing says suck it to a guy that's put in a really quick lap than doing that straight after he's done it. So there we go, 152.4 for Stormfly, putting him on the front row of the grid. Kevin 77 will be second with a 53.0. I can't see anyone else on this racetrack beating that, to be fair. TJ, what did he do? I've got no idea. He's 1.5 seconds back from Stormfly's time, so that's what? 53.9 actually, if it's 1.5 seconds. Or is it 1.5 on Kevin's? It's always difficult to tell because it should tell you what the difference to pole is. He's Wiggy 3.1 off pole. Really not liking that Tenza. Stormfly just coming out of the pits. He's put on the medium tyres now. Smart move. Craig also changed his tyres. He's going again for a one stopper to see how that helps him out. He's 1.5 seconds off the lead, I think. Grizz Troopers 2:07.4. That's a quite slow lap in that feather. Yellow Sausages 1:57.2. Not a bad lap. Aussie Rooster with a 56.9 in the not Diablo. Phil, is he that high up the group? 56.7. That's a good time, buddy. Really good time in that Jag. Can you sustain that kind of time though? Looking at the fuel, doubt it. So here we go. After that insane lap from Stormfly in the Genesis, which is crap on tyres, we are ready to go again. So Stormfly from Kevin, from Craig, great lap from Craig, TJ, Avalon, Wiggy, Phil, Aussie Rooster, Yellow Sausages, and Grizz, the US Troopers at the back of the pack. What happened? Can I get my favourite? No, of course we can't. Because we can't program a few camera angles. So Stormfly in the lead. He's 2 tenths, 5 tenths, 6 tenths, 7 tenths, 8 tenths up. He's gone crazy. He's gone crazy gone. Avalon Shadow pulls out a move on Kevin 77 in the Alpha, round the outside into the tunnel. But Kevin just retains that place with the inside line in the Cayman. Avalon has to settle for 3rd place. TJ back in 4th after his heroics in race number 1. He is half a second back from the Alpha. I have a feeling that battle is going to rage on through this race and through race number 3. Phil up to 5th in the Jaguar on those medium tyres, sticking on the back of that Renault Megane and closing actually. Is he able to close up and make the overtake before they go in to the big cambered hairpin, left-handed cambered hairpin at the end of this? He does. He makes the move. Is he making the move on Avalon? That would be some move. He's up the inside, but can he hold it? Avalon with a wobble. Is the door open for the Jag? He can't get on the power quick enough to capitalise on that, but TJ not giving up. TJ side by side. They've got to make sure they don't touch. TJ does have the inside line. He's going to have to back out though because he's not going to maintain it. So at the moment, Phil up into 4th place, trying to now tack on the back of Avalon Shadow in that Alpha 155. Looking down the order, There is the Not Diablo crawling up the back of TJ. So there is a three-way battle here for fourth place, which could turn into a four-way battle for third if Avalon drops into their clutches. But at the moment Stormfly and Kevin off up into the distance like specks on the horizon. And there is Craig in that GTR. He's on the hard tyres. He's going to struggle to maintain that pace. Here comes Wiggy in the Atenza. He's gone soft. He's going to go past Mr. Hard Tyres quite easily here. Up into 7th place. Is he now going to close up on Aussie Rooster? Take a couple of that. Thing is, if this battle rages on ahead, the way they're battling here, and look, Avalon Shadow, TJ, Phil, all trading places. So Avalon Shadow is staying ahead, actually 2.5 seconds ahead. But TJ and Phil trading places there. Again, TJ back up into 4th. Phil drops down to 5th. Aussie Rooster 7.7 of a second behind. Big wobble again from Phil. They all come round into this really quick uphill section. We are 4 abreast as we go up here. Let's go on board with Wiggy. Let's watch it from this view, actually. Great view to watch from there. We'll see behind the cars. We'll see what goes on ahead. So we've got 2 battles going on here. We've got everybody's getting a bit of slipstream off each other, which is making it very difficult to make an overtake. There's just no overtake on when the guy in front of you's also got some slipstream. So it's all and good it being strong, but you need it to just be the 2 of you. But Phil not able to make it count on TJ. TJ the only one without slipstream there as well. And Aussie goes very, very wide in the Not Diablo, and Wiggy up into 6th. Yellow Sausage up into 7th. Craig up into 8th. And Aussie dropping down the order. Grizz Troopers from the US of A already back in 20th in that Fezzer. Back 20 seconds back. He's not in 20th. That's not fair. He's in 10th place. 19 seconds back from the spinning car of Aussie Rooster. The spinning Lambo. The spinning Not Diablo. Stormfly 2.9 seconds clear at the moment, front at the back. Kevin 77. Nothing to offer on those racing soft tyres at the moment. Now the thing is, those medium tyres are burning quicker than the soft tyres on that Genesis. So that's the game plan Stormfly's got to play. He's just got to be quick as he can on the medium tyres, stay ahead of Kevin and match him pit stop for pit stop. I think that's the answer. But Stormfly 154.0, great race pace. A 154.7 from Kevin, also great race pace. But still loving that 52.4 pulled out by Stormfly immediately as I asked Kevin to give me a 52.5. You've got to love it. Yeah, 52.5. Avalon Shadow comfortably in 3rd now, just pulling away from the charging TJ. He's on those medium tyres. He's got quite a bit of fuel on board. He's got quite a bit of tyre to play with, and doesn't have to push too hard this time. He had to push a little bit harder in race number 1 because the 2 of them were battling so much closer. But while he's got that gap, he can manage his fuel a little bit, just keep an eye on the gap, and if needs be, just up the pace a little bit to maintain that gap. It's currently at 1.7 seconds. TJ looks to be pushing a little bit harder than Avalon at the moment to try and regain a place in that top 3. Phil still looking really, really solid at the moment in 5th place. Did have a little early rumble with TJ, but it didn't stick. Here's Wiggy in the Atenza, closing up on Phil. He was chasing down Aussie Rooster, but Aussie goes very, very wide into a turn in that sector 3, and Wiggy and Yellow Sausages and Craig all say thank you very much. We'll come through the open door, and through they came before he finally slammed the door shut on Grizz Troopers behind him. But half a second for the GTR. Is the slipstream in that GTR going to be enough to make it around Yellow Sausages, who is finally, after months of surgery, not able to race at all, and then months of recuperation, having to use a Boeing 747 fanned PS4 in another house miles away from his own, before finally getting home and switching on his PS5 for peaceful, beautiful racing. But he has got Craig tucked right in behind him at the minute. looking to make a move on him. Yellow Sausages on medium tyres. Got a bit of damage to the front. He's got Craig coming up behind him. Can Craig, under slipstream, close up and make a move? As we see ahead, the Yellow Sausage is trying to break that toe, and we see ahead Wiggy trying to use that toe to get around Phil in 5th. Will Wiggy be pitting this time out? I don't think so. Oh, he might do actually, looking at those tyres. So Craig can't make it past Yellow Sausages. Does has a look up the inside. Very, very good on that apex. But Yellow Sausages round the middle of the racetrack makes it very difficult for Craig to find anywhere to go through. Aussie Rooster still 1 point. Oh, only a second back now. Actually, this is going to be a quite close battle between them. So we've got Aussie on mediums. We've got Craig on hards. And he does get past Yellow Sausages on those hard tyres up into the... We'll say that. And what's happened with Yellow Sausages? Slowing right down. Aussie Rooster. So Yellow Sausages, you can see why he's slowing down. He's had some engine damage. He's had a little knock somewhere and damaged his engine. So Aussie Rooster comes through. And he's now crawling on the back of Craig. Can he make a move here? On board now with Aussie Rooster as he makes the pass on that GTR in the Not Diablo. And where is it? Where is the Not Diablo? It's there somewhere. There it is. Craig has to slot in behind him in the GTR and hope to be thrown some crumbs later if there is a mistake by Aussie Rooster. Out front, what's the difference? Well, the difference is that Stormfly has got that Jägermeister Genesis dialed in. He's going to be coming in this lap, which is lap 5. Where is Kevin? Kevin must have been in the pits. Kevin has been in the pits, way down in 8th place. So he couldn't hold those soft tyres out as long as Stormfly can hold out those mediums. This is changing the shape of this race. Stormfly 5 seconds clear of Avalon Shadow in the 155. But I mean, look at the difference. Look at the difference in tyre wear. I mean, look, we know the pace is different between these two. We know Avalon has been saving a little bit because he's not under too much push from TJ. But in terms of pace, Stormfly with a 154.0, 54.7, 54.9. Avalon's only going 55.7, 55.2, 54.9. So he matched him for pace in that last lap. But so much more on the tyres and so much more fuel on board as well. So he can drag this out a bit longer. Does this put him in a strong position? He's certainly going to take the lead of the race here. TJ's going to come up into 2nd place. Stormfly pulls into the pits. Now, what we need to see is who else comes through. Phil is in 5th. Will Phil come through? Will Phil pull into the pits? No, Phil is going to pull into the pits. Aussie Rooster in 5th place. He'll stay out as we see. Also, so Stormfly in. Yellow Sausages in. Phil is in. Craig up to 4th place. He's on those hard tyres. He's going to take that to the midway point of this race and run another one stop in that GTR. Pick up some valuable points. He's on the back of Aussie Rooster. Is there an opportunity for an overtake? So Stormfly still in the pits. Where's he going to come out? Where's Kevin actually? That's what we're looking for. So Kevin comes down the start, finish straight. Is Stormfly out yet? Stormfly is coming out. Where's Kevin? Where is he? We can't see him. We can't see him. He's going to be somewhere behind him. There he is. There's Kevin. The gap down to less than a second. So Kevin went very, very racy in that last lap and putting some pressure on the back of that Genesis now. Bear in mind, Stormfly was 2 seconds clear of Kevin when Kevin pulled into the pits on those soft tyres. So what tyres is Kevin on? Kevin is running medium tyres. Stormfly also on the medium tyres, but we know Stormfly can be quick on those tyres. In terms of fuel, Kevin's got more fuel on board as well. Now we know he can look after the tyres a bit better, not quite so abrasive on that. I mean, they're abrasive on this track, but not so abrasive on the Porsche Cayman as it is on the Genesis. So Kevin will have a good opportunity here. What Stormfly needs to do is hold Kevin up as much as possible, because if he can keep him behind him, it's going to negate any extra laps really that Kevin's going to get to pull up. I mean, Kevin will get 1 or 2 maybe while Stormfly goes in, but if he can't pull out a lead on him, it's really going to rein him in. So what kind of strategy is he going to employ here? He is starting to open up a little bit, so Stormfly's starting to find some real pace in that Genesis. Wiggy currently sitting in 7th place, 6.5 seconds back from what would essentially be the battle for first place, with Grizz Troopers 13 seconds back from him, still running. Oh, what a slide that is! That's one for the show reel. That I will be keeping for later. Definitely one for the show reel there, spinning out that feather. And through goes Yellow Sausages in the Lancer, up into 8th place. But Phil at the minute at the very, very back of the pack. He has been in the pits though. He's 8.654. We're going to see that ticking down because of the spin. Grizz Troopers goes into the pits. So Phil will move back up into 9th place in this race. Now, from 15 cars actually, I'm surprised we've only got 10 in the room. Everyone was so excited about this tournament. And then people, do you know what it is? People got their cars, they want their car, and then just decided not to rock up, which is a bit of a shame. But it is what it is. Obviously, we've had one. Well, we should have had 14 because there's 4 people that aren't racing tonight. We know Jay can't make his work. He's going to try to make it next week, so that takes us down to 13. So we've got 3 people not jumping in their cars tonight for this GR3. That includes Cool Runnings. Although to be fair, when I start thinking about it, Cool Runnings is moving house. Jay's working. Nick left. GMAC is still crying because he couldn't have the European Mazda. So actually, yeah, we're only missing really one person. So not too bad. But Avalon Shadow in the lead at the moment of this race has hung this out there very well on those medium tyres, doing a really good job in the Alpha. Able to conserve fuel much better here in race number 2 because he didn't have a ding-dong battle with TJ, and he still won't because TJ from 2nd into the pits, 18 seconds clear of Craig. We know Craig is going to run another couple of laps before he goes in. This is lap 7. He's going to go lap 8, but Stormfly coming on a charge now up into 3rd. He's going to make a move on Craig very soon. The gap back to Kevin opening up. It's opened up to 3.7 seconds. The Genesis, the Jägermeister Genesis, is starting to find some real pace around here. And I think that's the beauty. When you have an endurance race, sort of 50-minute, an hour, 90-minute endurance race, you kind of find your rhythm, and then that's your pace for the race. And you're managing your fuel and your tyres over that kind of race. The great thing about these I'm only winding him up. If he's watching, he can have a little giggle about his European Master. When you have these sort of shorter 30-minute endurance races, you still have that jeopardy of falling tyres. As Stormfly makes that move on Craig, very different strategies though. Going to be in very different parts of the racetrack. But yes, so what it does essentially is, sorry, bear with me. Right. Sorry about that. I've completely lost my train of thought. I'll remember where I was in a minute. So, where are we? Let's have a look at what's going on while I remember what I was talking about. Avalon Shadow in the lead is 23 seconds clear of Stormfly. Stormfly has made it round Craig. 1.4 seconds the distance to Craig. Craig now this is the thing for Kevin. Kevin's going to have to try and find his way around Craig, and he's racing him, so Craig has no obligation to get out of his way. Absolutely none. So we'll see what happens. Avalon in the pits. So Stormfly, I think, is probably close enough just to get out in the lead. But anyway, as I was saying, so the difference between the 50-minute and hour and 90-minute races and these is that you still got that jeopardy of looking after your fuel, looking after your tyres, but it's over a much shorter period. And if you've got 2 or 3 of those races in an evening, you can kind of tweak and fiddle and fiddle around with your strategy just to kind of find a better way of doing things. And it can change from race to race just how well or badly you do, of course. And that is, for me, what Stormfly's done, is he looked at the mistakes he made in race number 1, and clearly one of those was jumping in early on the hard tyres, and in the vain hope that there was some kind of benefit to a massive undercut. Noticed there wasn't, So he's gone for the other approach. I'm going to put my foot through the floor on the accelerator and fuck off up the road and see where that takes me in terms of fuel and tyre management. Well, at the moment, it takes him 5 seconds clear of Kevin 77. Now, we look at the tyres here. Front right looking a little ropey. Fuel, ropier still. There's Kevin 77. Now, Kevin, this is the reason why he's dropped off. Excuse me. He's gone for the other approach. He's decided to not push too hard. A lot more on his tyres, lot more fuel available to him. He will take the lead of this race when Stormfly goes in. Now, the question is, how long can Kevin take this car? Because we know from race number 1, he's going to have to come in and put in some more tyres. He will probably put on the soft tyres, which will make him quick. But it's just how much distance can he pull between himself and Stormfly when Stormfly does go into the pits. So at the moment, Stormfly's priority is to make that gap as big as possible. Well, he's not going to make it any bigger because there he goes in, 5.4 seconds clear of Kevin. So now, what does Kevin do? He ups that fuel map, puts it onto fuel map 1, puts his foot through the floor and starts melting the Cayman. Will we see, now 53-0 from Stormfly under race conditions, will we see Kevin have a go at beat? Can you go sub 53 under racing conditions with no slipstream, Kevin? That's the question. The challenge has been laid. The last time I laid a challenge down for you, Stormfly took that honour before you could. Now it's your turn, my friend. What have you got for me? Have you got... Can you beat that time? There's just 52.5 from Kevin, please. Can you give me a 52.5 and make this a photo finish for the end of this race? Avalon Shadow in second place, 16 seconds back from Kevin. He is going to take this car to the end of this race. Now, if Kevin doesn't build up a big enough gap, Avalon's going to retake the lead of this race. He could be, actually, Avalon here could be the cat in the pigeon pen. Really could be that cat in the pigeon pen. So you've got the 2 racing pigeons, Kevin 77 and Stormfly, duking it out for supremacy here at Trial Mountain. And along comes the wily cat Avalon Shadow with his completely different strategy and his beautiful car, and absolutely cocks it up. But there's TJ in third. TJ, if he's got anything to say about it, is going to be getting involved in a cat fight with Avalon. So we've got the 2 cats chasing the 2 pigeons. And where's this going to lead? Yellow Sausages. I'll tell you where he's going to lead. He's going to lead straight into the pits from 4th place at the end of this lap. Probably got another couple of laps worth of tyres, but the fuel, certainly not. And that will unleash Stormfly back onto the back of that top 3. We know Avalon is going to take the car to the end. That is without question. That's not even up for debate. TJ, maybe. He hasn't got the fuel saving ability of Avalon. He's got a little bit less on his tyres, but I think TJ might keep it out there. But he's not going to have the crazy pace of this man here, Stormfly, running the hard tyres, strangely. Going for the hard tyres, but maybe just don't... I think if you look at how many laps he's got out of the mediums previously, and the softs, it's not really well, just the mediums, hasn't really worked out for him too well. So hoping those hard tyres can take him to the end and just keep up enough pace. He's 35 seconds off the back of Kevin at the moment. He's going to need to shut that gap down because Kevin has gone on a charge. He hasn't quite recreated those 53-0 heroics, and he's not giving me my 52.5, but he's still got some soft tyres to put on, and that's his opportunity to give me my lap time. I want to see it up there before the end of this race. 52.5 from the pocket rocket. I don't know what I call him, pocket rocket. He's a large man. Why not? So Avalon Shadow. Not having it all his own way, 16.666. That's no change, but I'd say it won't got there. Behind Kevin, he's got TJ 2.31. He's managing that pace very well. He's not worrying too much when it drops under. He's not really changing his game plan. He's just keeping an eye on it. And when it does drop into just under that 2 seconds, it'll pull out a little bit of a zoom, and off he goes again and opens up a little bit. So in goes Kevin from the Linz race, 16.9 seconds. He probably could have got a lap or two more. I think he was concerned about getting out as quickly as possible. Now, he's going on the hard tyre, the soft tyres here. So just having some more drink. So Avalon through, TJ through. Where is Stallfly? Stallfly rounds the penultimate, or the third from last turn. Here he comes into the penultimate turn now. He crosses the entrance to the pit lane. He's on those hard tyres, so he's not got the same pace he's had through the rest of the race. Here he comes through penultimate turn, through the last turn. Where's Kevin? Kevin's coming out of pits. Kevin has retained the lead of this race from Stormfly. What a stonking sector from him. Basically, just to undercut him there on the racetrack. But remember, we thought these two were going to be dominating out front. That's not the case. Stormfly might be 6 seconds behind. He's going to have a go at trying to close that gap. But great race car from Kevin there to go on those soft tyres now. But the win's not in the bag. He's got 9.7 seconds up the road. He's got this man, TJ, in the Renault Megane. Might struggle with those tyres to take it to the end of the race. But this man here, Avalon, in the Alpha 155. He's 3 seconds up from TJ, and he can use TJ as a buffer. He can look after his tyres. He can look after his fuel. He's basically got 4 laps to do that as he comes up behind Chris Troopers in that feather. But he can look after the tyres, look after the fuel, while he's got TJ there 3 seconds behind, because he knows that that gap's 3 seconds. If he can keep it at that sort of 3 seconds, or even open it up a little bit, he knows that all the time he sees TJ behind him, the one man that's not behind him is him, Kevin 77. And he's not there putting pressure on for the win. And neither is this man. So at the moment, Avalon looking in his mirrors, just glancing up to the left-hand side of that timing screen, and knows that he's in a relatively comfortable position right now. As he just starts lap 12. So lap 12, lap 13, lap 14, lap 15, and lap 16. And it's all over. So he finishes lap 12. He's on lap 13. That is 4 laps. He's got 3.5 seconds. He's just lapped Grizz Troopers. That's another buffer. It's another buffer between him and these guys behind. So he's got a buffer between him and TJ. He's got 2 buffers between him and Kevin, and 3 between himself and Stormfly. Further down the order, there is Craig, again comfortably in that midfield. Aussie Rooster 5.4 seconds just behind him in the Not Diablo. He is 14 seconds clear of Yellow Sausages in the Lancer, who is quite some way ahead at the moment of Wiggy, who's just pulled into the pits again. Where is Wiggy actually? Well, he's currently sitting in 7th, but that will change because it's a bit of a false position. He comes out of the pits in 8th place. He's on the soft tyres. I think Yellow Sausages might have to look in his mirrors come a little bit later in this race. 51 seconds back to fill in the Jaguar, not getting that car dialed in, and a further 36 seconds down the road to the Grizz Troopers. Avalon Shadow still 3.5 seconds clear on lap 13 in the Alpha 155. TJ still desperately trying to keep up with him, trying to keep pace with him. The gap to Kevin at the moment now down to 7 seconds. So Kevin on a charge. He hasn't beaten that crazy lap from Stormfly, that 53.0 that Stormfly put in much earlier in the race. In fact, he hasn't put in his best lap of the race since lap 2 or 3. He changed his strategy when Stormfly disappeared off up the road. That's what's happened for me. He's let Stormfly go off up the road. He knows that he struggles on those tyres, so his choice was to hold on to the fuel, hold on to the tyres, go for a different strategy. He's currently ahead of Stormfly by 8.5 seconds. He's just done a 53.4 on the soft tyres. That's not what I wanted, my friend. I want a 52.5. Come on, what you got for me? Stormfly He has 53.0 he did on lap 7 in the midpoint of this race. He did that on medium tyres. Medium tyres in that Jägermeister Genesis. He's not closing the gap on Kevin. Neither of them at the moment are really closing fast enough on TJ and Avalon. Avalon's opening that gap up now, 3.8 seconds, 3.7 seconds from TJ. TJ desperately looking to that left-hand side, seeing that clock ticking down. It was 9 seconds, and then it was 7 seconds. Now it's 5 seconds. And if we look from the back of TJ's car, just for a little bit of fun, there is Kevin in the distance. Here he is. Can he see his prey yet? He's hunting down his prey. And we said it was cat amongst the pigeons, but this pigeon is on a ride of his life. He's homing in on the back of TJ. It's 4.8 seconds now. There he can see him. You can see him just going around that left-hander. Picks his braking point, picks his apex over the brow of the hill. Can he see him again? There he is. He knows he's just turning in to that penultimate left-hander. He comes in. Again, brake point, apex, looking for, how's he getting out of this quarter fast on that power? There he is again. He sees his prey. The gap is 3.7 seconds now. But Avalon at the moment, Avalon in a very, very good position. The gap's come down a little bit. TJ just up in that pace. He can feel Kevin breathing down his neck. We're on lap 15. There is enough time for Avalon and TJ and Kevin and Stormfly, all, I think, to make it to lap 16. Craig here, also, he's on lap 14. So everyone else, I think this is going to be the last lap. It's going to be lap 14, 15. Yeah, I think the top 4 will make it to lap 16. I think Craig will finish on lap 15. So Craig will finish this race in 5th place if he can keep Aussie Rooster behind him. 7.7 seconds is that gap. The top 4, so much pace from them. Remember, it was only a couple of them or 3 of them in race number 1. We've now got 4 in race number 2. Can we get 5 or 6 in race number 3? Imagine if we start getting all of them into the 16th lap here at Trial Mountain. Gap to Yellow Sausages is 9.6 seconds. That gap's not going to close up anytime soon, I don't think. He's running the medium tyres. Not huge amounts of fuel on board, but Aussie seems to be going well in that, not Diablo even. Wiggy, told you close that gap. He's closed it to 1.1 second. There's going to be an overtake coming soon, but I'm scared to leave that battle at the front because Stormfly now dropping off 14.5 seconds. He's out of this top 3. Where's Kevin? Kevin is right up behind TJ now. I told you he was hunting him down. We're on lap 15. Where's Avalon Shadow? 2.6 up the road. Can Kevin pull? I'll tell you what, if he pulls this off from that pit stop, that's some driving. He pulls out from the back of TJ. TJ's powerless at the moment. I'll say powerless, but he's pulling away now on the inside line. So, much better traction Kevin had. He breezes past him there though. What happened to TJ? TJ he's had to fuel map. He hasn't got the fuel to finish this race at that pace. Is he vulnerable from Stormfly? He is 16, 17 seconds clear. He's not. Stormfly doesn't make lap 16. Just stops before the line. Doesn't make lap 16. And that, I think, actually, is going to be a bit of a disaster. Because I don't think TJ is going to make it round this lap without running out of fuel. Stormfly, had he been a little bit quicker, could have caught the back of him and maybe taken 3rd place. Craig comes in 5th, Aussie in 6th, but this is the battle we're watching. Avalon Shadow, 1.6 seconds clear. He has been in the lead of this race for some time, while Kevin and Stormfly have had their battle going on behind. Avalon's just quietly gone about his business in the Alpha 155. What are we looking at for fuel? Kevin's looking dangerously low. Avalon also looking dangerously low. Avalon at the moment on those medium tyres. He's got some grip left in them. He's 1.8 seconds clear and holding firm. There are 5 corners left to go. Can Avalon hold off the charge of Kevin 77 for these last now 3 corners? And the gap is down to 1.2 seconds. Avalon through. Nice apex there. Started to drive defensively. Doesn't need to yet. Kevin is not close enough. 1.1 seconds as a gap. And here we go. Avalon's turned that fuel map up to 1. He's put the pedal to the floor. Penultimate corner. There is 1 more corner to go. He needs a good exit here, does Avalon. Avalon gets a great exit. He is 1 second clear. I don't think the Charger Kevin is going to come to anything as we watch Avalon win this race here. And there he does. Crosses the line from Kevin 77. And TJ runs out of fuel. As I said he would. I said he would run out of fuel. And he did. Now, could Stormfly have caught him? I think he could. I think Stormfly, at the pace he was moving, had he made lap 16, I mean, and he was millimetres short of making lap 16. I think he would have nicked third. Yeah, I was at penalty. I missed the penalty, buddy. Absolutely gutted. Absolutely gutted. I really thought you were going to make it. When I saw TJ's fuel, I thought, that's it, he's custard. But there we go, all over. What a race. Avalon holds on for the victory. Let's not talk about how much he moaned about that car when he first got it. And he's just picked up his first victory here in round 3. Starting to like the car a bit, are we? Yeah, I thought you would have caught him. When he ran out through, you would have caught him on your pace. But it wasn't to be. You picked up a penalty pushing too hard. But to be fair, I thought you were going to have that. But you got to say, Kevin was awesome in the last half of that race. It was ridiculous. But here we go. So race number 3 comes up, and what happens in race number 3? That's right. We've got the 1 lap qualifying, but then we've got what essentially is a reverse grid. Slowest first from a rolling start. Anything can happen, and in a rolling start with the slow guys at the front, it usually does. So we'll be back very shortly. I'm sure everyone's going to go for their usual pee and their usual fag and la-di-da-di-da. So let's stick the table up again for you all to watch, because there's nothing going on the screen at the moment. That's the current championship table. A win from Kevin, again, I'll give him 25 points. Win from Avalon with 25 points. That will push Avalon up that table significantly. Wiggy not doing well in that Tenza at the moment. TJ though, TJ put in a bit of a challenge on. PM10 is going to drop way down the order because he's disappeared off to sun himself on a beach somewhere in the Canary Islands. Aussie and the Hurricane's going to drop down the order as well. Not a good race for him this week. VR46 still in and amongst it in second place. But I'll be back with you very, very shortly. back in the room. Welcome back. I should be welcome back to me because I'm the one that went away. You guys stuck around, I think. Third time the charm, mate. Well, yeah. Now you've got to make it through the entire pack. You haven't got to make it past one guy. You've got to make it past all of them. Because it is reverse grid time. So I said I was going to talk to you about what little surprise I've got in store for the midway point of this competition. And I don't care what you've got to say, I'm going to surprise you with this, and you're going to love it. So, we're going to do a continuation. I should actually probably show you what's going on the track, because I think everybody's chucking in some fast laps now. Well, some of them are. There's going to be a little twist to the competition, and that we're going to run another lottery, but this one is not mandatory. So, after race number 5, as soon as race number 5 is finished, we're going to take some of the GR4 cars that didn't make it into this competition. We're going to take 15 new GR4 cars and we're going to stick them on a wheel. Now, you can ditch the car you currently have and take a chance at getting a better car. Not all the cars on the list will be better than the one you have. So you can take your chance that you can ditch your car and pick up a better car. Now, the order I will pick in will be where you are on the leaderboard. The lower you are down, the higher up the order you will be if you opt to switch out your car. Also, what we will do is anybody that is decides they want to join in this craziness that is the GR4 lottery and get involved in it, can also jump into that stage and get one of the cars on offer, but you will be way down the order behind these guys. So, for instance, if Grizz Troopers decides that feather is a big bag of turd and he wants to swap it out, he can give me that feather and he can spin the wheel, but he gets whatever's left. The cars will be announced this week that go on the Wheel of Death. I call it the Wheel of Death. It's probably going to be a Wheel of Joy. Will Yellow Sausages ditch the Lancer? Will Stormfly take that Genesis, the tyre-eating Genesis, throw it in the bag and see what else comes out? Will Aussie Rooster finally give up with the Huracan that's done him so well in race number 1 and race number 2? Who knows? Who knows? Yes, I will announce the cars after race 4 is finished, and after race 5 we will hold the draw live here on YouTube straight after the race. And what we're going to do, we're going to get everybody in the lottery is going to go in a room. We're all going to be on the stream together, and you can hear their live reaction. We can try. I don't know if we're going to make it work. We'll try and make it work. What we're going to try and do is get everybody in to hear live reactions from people when they, if they ditch their car and go for a new one. We'll see what happens. I have a feeling Wiggy is going to chuck that Tenza in the bin. He's not been happy with the car since day 1. Not getting the performance that now we're used to seeing Wiggy in and around those guys around the front, so I think he's going to ditch that Tenza and go through, or maybe the next couple of races he dials it in and changes his mind. Avalon Shadow, I will eat my hat if he puts that Alpha in the bin. He's starting to dial it in now. He's just picked up his first win. He's the more and more he drives the car, the more I think he's starting to love the car. Will Phil put the Jag in the bin? I think he might. What about TJ? Is he loving that Megane? Well, he's performing well in the Megane at the moment. Quite a lot of podiums for him in that Renault. So I think he might keep his car. Will Craig keep the GTR? He's been doing all right midfield in that car. Will he take the gamble? Will he look at the cars on the list and think, could have one of them, that'd be nice? What about Kevin? Is he happy with the Cayman? Well, I would say with being top of the leaderboard, he's got to be relatively happy with his car so far. But will something else catch his eye? Be interesting. What about the guys that aren't here tonight? What about G-Mac? What about Jay? Will they look at their cars and think, I might have another go? I know G-Mac's been complaining a little bit about the M4. Will he take that M4, put it in the bin, and pick another car? But the cars will be announced at the end of next week's GR3 lottery, and the re-roll, the GR4 lottery re-roll will be happening after race number 5 in 2 weeks' time. So who's looking forward to that craziness? That's all it is. So Everyone on an outlap now, ready to set their fast lap. Oh, actually, I think they already have. These guys have already parked up. They must have set their fast lap. Gris Troopers currently with a 2027. Remember, they're starting from the back, so the slowest cars will be at the front on a rolling start, which will open up that gap a little bit and give you a little bit of glory in first place, even just for a little while. Anyway, what else this week? What else is going on this week? Well, we'll wait for qualifying to finish. Penalty for Stallfly. That's unfortunate. Well, yeah, I suppose it's not actually that unfortunate for him. He's one-shot qualifying, so he's not going to set him that high up because he's running another lap. That's very sporting of him. He could have run the lap with that penalty, finished it with the one-shot qualifying, been a little bit further down the order on qualifying and served himself better in the race. But the fact he's running again shows quite good sportsmanship actually from this part. I don't think he shouldn't really be doing that, but I think being one of the faster guys, it's only fair to the slower guys on the track. But anyway, coming up this week, so on Wednesday, we have the start of a brand new GR3 Open tournament. This time you're not restricted to European cars. We're not just going to be stuck on European tracks. We are a world, pick your own, do whatever you like, GR3 Open. Little bit of a twist in that you will get, everybody gets two race miss tokens, so you can stick that in there if you need to miss a race and guarantee yourself 10 points. You also get a car change token, similar to what the Lithuanian guys are doing, and I want to thank Rullis for chucking that idea my way, my friend. Really smart idea. But that comes up on Wednesday, 8 PM here. Well, 8:15 will probably start when they just before they start qualifying here on Black Flag Racing TV. Then what we got Thursday, we've got nothing going on. Friday, a whole bag of nothing on Friday as well. We might chuck something in. We'll see what happens. We'll see what everyone feels like doing over the weekend. Then Saturday we're back, round 2 of Super Formula Saturday in the Delaras, and you have to check that out because the liveries on those cars that Kevin's made, all classic Formula 1 cars, they're instantly recognisable unless you're me and you mistake a very obvious Tyrrell for Jenson Button's Brawn. But there's some brilliant cars in there. There's Narrows, there's Benson Hedges Jordan, there's the old Williams, there's the Ferrari, there's all sorts of cars in there for you to enjoy for your viewing pleasure. And then Saturday, busy day Saturday. So we've got Saturday is Super Formula, then I go offline, I have a little kip, and then at 1:30 in the morning, 8:30 New York time, Eastern time I think they call it. I'm sure Good Troopers will correct me if I'm wrong, but at 1:30 in the morning here in the UK, 8:30 Eastern time in the US, I am back, well hopefully they have me back, they haven't said otherwise yet, for the GT Champions Round 5, Season 4, Round 5. And I would like to tell you what track and car it is, but I've forgotten. I think it's Autopolis. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's Autopolis, but offhand I've forgotten what car it is. I could look it up, couldn't I? That would be a good idea. Let's look it up. So where are we? I've got to go have a look in their Discord. Oh, I can't find it. It would involve some level of being quite quick at what I'm doing, but I've actually forgotten where it is. But I will. I'll tell you on Wednesday. When I see you on Wednesday, I'll tell you then. But if you want to check out like the last round, really cool race at Daytona Road, which was after 90 minutes racing, won by Average Viper from pole position as well. He won that race. Really cool race. All over and done with that. But there we go. So everyone's set a time. I think everyone's set a time. Not quite sure what those times are because Polyphony Digital don't feel it's important for us to have any kind of telemetry data. Right, so Grizz Troopers at the front of the grid, Stormfly at the front, Stormfly at the very back, Kevin, Avalon Shadow, Craig, TJ, Wiggy, Yellow Sausages, Phil, Aussie Rooster, had a bad lap, but actually serves him quite well there. And then Grizz Troopers at the front of the grid. Let's have a look in some of these cars behind and see how everyone gets away. Right, quickly, let's quickly jump out because there's going to be a lot of action very, very quickly here, without a shadow of a doubt. Don't know, actually. There we go. I think I jumped out too early, didn't I? Because it's a rolling start. I did. I jumped out a little bit too early. Let's get back in the room. Here we go. It's Grizz Troopers away. Aussie Rooster also away. Been so quick with the buttons. We did too bloody quick. There we go. So Grizz Troopers already losing a few places on the first turn. Already down to third place. Aussie Rooster up into the lead. Phil up into second place in the Jaguar. How long can he hold on? Can he make a move on Aussie here on race number 3? TJ already making his way through, up into third place. What an overtake from TJ. Really strong position for him. He's got Yellow Sausages behind him. Grizz Troopers already down to 5th place. I'll say that. A Stormfly up into 5th place. Stormfly making a charge through the pack. Craig in 6th. Yellow Sausages in 7th place. He's got Kevin behind him. Avalon Shadow way down in 9th place. Didn't get away very well. Now, Alpha's usually very quick off the line. And there's Wiggy at the back of the pack. Anyone ever coming together? It doesn't look, there's a bit of damage on the back of Yellow Sausages car. Doesn't look like any damage. Oh, there is a bit of damage there on Stormfly. 4-second penalty. He's hit someone on the way through. He's in 5th place. But that 4-second penalty, he's not going to be there for very long. So he's clearly had a collision on the way through, which looks like it's with Yellow Sausages, because he's the only one that seems to have had any damage. But he's up into 5th. But I'll tell you, he's in a really good position right now. TJ up in 3rd place. He got through that pack very quickly. He's moved up into 3rd. He is half a second just behind Phil. Aussie Rooster out in the lead in the Not Diablo. Out in front, he's got Phil behind him in the Jaguar. He's got TJ just behind him in the Renault Megane. Grizz Troopers, a little battle with Stormfly there. Not quite sure what the Grizz Troopers are doing there, having a battle up that end. But can't complain. Stormfly with his 4-second penalty is ahead of Grizz. Grizz will go through again. Kevin now up into 6th place. Craig up into 7th. Avalon Shadow has made his way into 8th place. Not moving his way through the pack that quick. Stormfly moves off the racing line as he should to serve that penalty. Is there an overtake here from anybody? Stormfly way down the order. Way down the order. Finds himself in last. Now with Wiggy ahead of him. So, not always the best approach, and this is where he's at now. Way down. It's the 3rd time the charm. The 3rd time the charm, he's 1.1 second back at the back of the pack on lap 2 in the tyre-eating Genesis. TJ up into the lead of the race. He's made a double overtake. And then Phil straight back at him in the Jaguar. Up into the lead again. Can TJ hold on and retake the lead? He doesn't. Aussie coming through in the Not Diablo. Trying to make a move on TJ, but TJ back up into the lead of the race as they come round into this quick section here. Now they're going to be going up the hill. Phil and Aussie picking up a massive slipstream off the back of that Renault Megane. Can they get any inroads? Can they get back into the lead of this race? But at the moment, TJ pulling away in that black and red yellow Megane. Black and red yellow Megane. It's a black and red Renault Megane. That's what it is. Because it's a show, when I spend too much time at work, I lose my ability to speak. But TJ in the lead. He has got Phil crawling on the back of him in that Jaguar, who has Aussie Rooster crawling over the back of him in that Not Diablo. Kevin up now into 4th place. He's got no channel. I say he's got no channel for Stormfly. Stormfly already back up into 5th in this race. Avalon Shadow up into 6th. Starting to work their way through the order now. Kevin's still with a lot of work to do on those medium tyres. He's still got to get past Aussie. He's still got to get past Phil. And there is TJ. Still only half a second clear. It doesn't look to me, though, he's pushing too hard here. It looks like he's just... he knows that Kevin's a few cars back at the moment. He knows that Stormfly's behind him. He knows that Avalon is back behind him. He doesn't have to worry too much at the moment. He can just settle into this race, give some relatively slow pace. Stormfly with a 1:55.1 so far, which is a pretty damn quick lap considering he went to the back of the pack after a 4-second penalty at the end of lap 1. But TJ, 1.2 seconds now, the gap's starting to open up a little bit, starting to ramp it up. He knows that he's got fast cars coming behind. He knows he's going to have to open a gap up and put himself in a good position as he puts in a purple sector in Sector 1. There is Phil now just dropping off. Aussie Rooster making the overtake on Phil. Phil slaps the back of that car out. Big tank slapper. Drops it down into third as Kevin comes through. Stormfly on a charge now. Looking to make the move himself. Stormfly through on Phil. Now here comes Avalon. Can Avalon make the move? Avalon makes that move. Phil dropping down the order like a stone. It's like someone's thrown a stone into a well. He drops down that order. Right down into 6th place, into the evil clutches of Craig. Yellow Sausages though, oh my god, either side, Phil getting sandwiched by Yellow Sausages and Craig. Yellow Sausages getting the better of both of them, moves up into 6th place. Yellow Sausages now drops down into 7th place as Craig goes through. And these two guys having a battle now themselves. Craig wobbling the GTR, spins it, collects Phil. He's off the track. Yellow Sausages goes ahead. Phil stays in 7th place. Wiggy in 8th. What a race. What a race we've got in here in race number 3. There, Craig. Down there, not quite as far back as Grizz Troopers, but Grizz Troopers having a little sniff at the back of the GTR. Does get ahead. Big tank slapper from Craig there in that battle. Stormfly jumps into the pits. Already in at the end of lap 3. He's at the back of the pack. TJ still ahead. Aussie Rooster still in 2nd. That gap has come down though. That gap is down to 0.8 of a second. Kevin 77. Winner in race number 2. Winner in race number 1. 2nd place in race number 2. Finds himself just behind. 1.3 seconds is the difference there. 1.3 seconds was the difference as we see him make a massive move on Aussie. Side by side they come in. Aussie's got the inside line. He's not going to give it up too easily, but he doesn't have a choice. Kevin makes the move. He now has the inside line. He's up into 2nd. The gap is 2.2 seconds to TJ. TJ turning up the power now in that Renault. He's going up the hill. He does not want to give up slipstream here, and he isn't. Kevin, no slipstream to put him in on this time. Oh my god, so much going on. I'm losing my voice there. Avalon Shadow up into 4th. He wants another win under his belt. Tucks in behind the Not Diablo. Pulls out looking to make the move. Can't make it there. But he's going to look into this carbon left-hander. Can he make a move up the inside? Aussie cuts it off relatively well. Avalon looks up the inside. Not quite got the pace, but he's still tucked in behind that wing of the Not Diablo of Aussie Rooster. And Kevin not pulling away as much as you'd like to think. The pace is frenetic. Avalon Shadow with the fastest lap of the race. A 1:54.9 is his time. Kevin 77 has scythed his way through the pack. Stormfly also had scythed his way through. Picks up a penalty, drops to the back, scythes his way through again. Who's that pulling into the pits? That is Aussie Rooster pulling into the pits. That frees up Avalon Shadow to tack onto the back of Kevin. This is not going to be much about fuel saving. This is about balls out racing. This is racing without margin. Racing without thought. Racing without plan. Just getting on with the actual job of making your car go quickly. And Avalon Shadow tacking on the back of Kevin and not letting him get away. But TJ at the moment, good race management, holding on there, 1.7 seconds. Kevin's had to put a bit of pressure on, burning more fuel than I think he would have liked to in this early stage of the race. Where is Stormfly? 9th place. He had to pit on lap 3. Just because the tyres on this Genesis are so utterly ripped apart by the racetrack. And it may be down to the setup. Oh, he's off the track there. He's not going to put in quick lap times if he spends so much time on the grass. But he's currently in 9th place. He has already pit. He's got 9 seconds to catch up Craig. Craig is, after that tank, he's doing really well, Craig. Good little battle going on in the midfield. Then a big tank slap on the GTR where he nearly collects Phil on the way through. And he's in 8th place. Grizz Troopers running good, up in 7th place. He did start on the front, had a torrid time in race 1 and race 2, but at the moment, sitting there in the midfield, just 7 seconds behind Wiggy in the Atenza. We actually giving those mediums a run, see him go a bit longer and see if that can move him up the racetrack. And so far it's working out not too badly for him. Tacking onto the back of Phil, looking for any mistake, looking for any opportunity to dive that Tenza up the inside, dive it up the outside, dive it round him, whatever he can do as Phil peels off. Looks to be a Phil peels off. Will Sausages peels off into the pits. Wiggy stays out. He's going to go a couple more laps on these medium tyres. But the battle out front is still TJ. He is now only 1 second clear of Avalon Shadow, who's made his way past Kevin. Now, I never thought I'd see that. I thought Kevin was on a big charge. He is still the fastest man on the track with a 154.5. We haven't seen the low 153s yet, and we certainly haven't seen anywhere near the 52.5 that I've been desperately wanting to see during the race. So TJ, 1.3 seconds. Very similar fuel, very similar tyres to Avalon in the Alpha, who is 7 tenths clear, and at the moment doing a good job at holding Kevin 77 at bay. But Kevin is starting to look after his fuel. He is looking to take this car a little bit longer than those cars ahead of him. Now, he doesn't know what fuel they're currently on, but he can work out from their pace where he thinks they are fuel-wise. And not just that, but, you know, we all know each other. We all know each other's strategies and tactics and the way we like to run a race. So we can use some of that knowledge in working out where we are on a racetrack. I know we are. Look, when I say where we are, I will be at the back, looking at the back of everyone's car or staring at a wall. But the rest of these guys can work out where everyone else will be on the racetrack. I'll be looking at the times and saying, can I beat Grizz Troopers on this track? No, okay. Can I beat Jay on the track? No, okay. So and then basically driving around in 10th, 12th, 15th, or wherever it is. 8th if I'm lucky if it's a small lobby. But TJ still ahead of Avalon Shadow. These two have battled all day. Great battle in race number 1. Not such a great battle in race number 2. They were different parts of the racetrack. Avalon makes the move into the lead of this race. Can he make it 2 wins from 2 in the plucky little Alpha? He's ahead of TJ in that McCann. TJ didn't have it all. He had his own way for 6 laps. But now these fast guys are coming through. TJ making a move up the inside, and he does make that move. What great racing from these two. TJ back into the lead of this race. TJ in the lead. We've had Avalon in the lead. Avalon now tucks into second. These two battling. Kevin must be loving it, because while these two are battling, he can just run his race behind in third and wait for any little mistake, any little deviation off the racing line to try and get an edge. So, lot of slipstream here for Avalon Shadow. Let's watch on board from Kevin as we see Avalon Shadow tucking in under the wing of TJ. Can he make that move? He's really close. What is he doing? He's not making a move here. He's saving fuel behind TJ. He's letting TJ keep the fuel in his car. And look at that lift and coast. He is saving. He's quite happy to sit back there in second at the minute. Let TJ burn off some fuel. And just wait, because he knows that Kevin behind him isn't pushing. He knows Kevin isn't pushing, because if Kevin was pushing, his fastest lap of a 54.1 would be going in the bin. So at the moment, Kevin's just sticking with that barrel. Avalon, massive gap up the inside. TJ leaves open. Does shut the door before Kevin gets to come through. But he left the gap open. Kevin pulls into the pits. This is brilliant for both Avalon and TJ. TJ does lose out on the lead of this race to Avalon. He left the door open for him. But watching Kevin pull into the pits at his, lap 7. And he probably could have gone another lap, in all fairness. But seeing him pulling is going to be a brilliant sight for them. These guys are miles at the top 3. Absolutely pulling miles ahead of the rest of the pack. There's Craig. He is 32 seconds back, only now passing the pit lane. He's got Stormfly. Stormfly starting to make moves. Stormfly comes through. He's tucked in behind Craig, looking for any opportunity. He's going to tuck under the wing of that GTR, hope to get pulled along. And look at the slipstream there. Stormfly gets a great exit, great slipstream, breezes past the GTR like it isn't a Nissan supercar. Takes that Jägermeister Genesis up into third place. Kevin comes out in fifth. He's 2.7 seconds off the back of Craig. Craig opted for the same strategy. Run those hard tyres, run them to lap 8. And it's working out very well for him because he's currently sitting fourth. Kevin behind him, he's gone for the hard tyres. He's going to go for a long stint here. Does he feel he can take this car to the end on the hards? I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I think it's going to be a struggle doing 9 laps. 8 laps seems to be about the benchmark for a hard tyre full tank run. We know Kevin's got a little bit of racecraft and can be a little bit wily, but can he have that pace while looking after the hard tyres? We know the hard tyres aren't the fastest. I don't know. I think it's a risky strategy, but I suppose it's something you've got to try. Avalon Shadow into the pits. He's followed in by TJ. The gap was 1.2 seconds when they pulled in. Stormfly 33 seconds back. Craig actually not letting him pull away. They're both on those hard tyres. We know Stormfly's going to have to stop again. Now for him, it's going to be about damage limitation. How big a gap can he pull out now in order to give him the best opportunity at the end of this race to have a go? So here we go, Stormfly coming through. TJ and Avalon still both in the pits, both putting fuel on board. Here comes Stormfly. He will be in the lead, believe it or not. Started at the back of the grid, worked his way through, picked up a 4-second penalty, ended up at the back of the grid, went into the pits really, really early, ended up at the back of the grid, and halfway point, and he finds himself in the lead of this race, 4.2 seconds clear of Kevin. Now, Kevin is running to the end. Although at the rate he's burning fuel, I'm not sure that's going to last too well. So maybe he's not on a ploy to make it to the end on the hard tyres. Maybe actually what he's doing here is he's seen where Stormfly is. He's seen that kind of pace. He thought, actually, I'm going to have a go here. He needs to pit. So let me have a go because I can pit as well. And I can go on those soft tyres and have a little nibble at the back of him. Stormfly can't risk those soft tyres unless he does only a couple of laps. But Avalon out in third place. TJ out in fourth place. This race between these two is not over. Aussie Rooster running well, actually, up in fifth place in the Not Diablo. All the excitement, I'm making my microphone wet. But the racing is so good, it makes everybody wet. That's the great thing about it. Yellow Sausages running well in sixth, just 3/10 behind that Not Diablo, looking to make any kind of move, looking for any mistake ahead of him. Did sound like a crash there, I don't think it was. There is Wiggy in seventh in the Atenza. At the back of that battle, Phil, despite being out in the lead early doors, back in 8th place, but he is 22 seconds ahead of Craig at the moment. Craig, who's just come out of the pits, he's running on the mediums this time, so he is not going for a one-stopper. He is going for a bit more of a racy approach to this third race here. And Quiz Troopers at the back of the pack after a valiant start, started dropping through that order. Phil also we saw dropping through that order. Didn't go very well for him. He very nearly got collected by Craig when Craig had a big tank slapper halfway through the first stint. But it is all change. At the moment we've got Stormfly and back in the lead of this race, despite being at the very back of the pack. So, can this work out for him? He said third time the charm on the chat. And when he got that 4-second penalty and went to the back, I was thinking, well, you fucked that up, didn't you? But he's in the lead of the race. He is 3 seconds clear of Kevin 77. The Greek driving monster that is Kevin 77 in second place in that Porsche Cayman. Now he's running hard tyres. Originally, I thought he was going to try and go to the end. I don't think he's going to make it, folks. Not at the rate he's burning through that fuel. So he will probably, unless he's planning on getting past Stormfly, I don't know what his plan is. We know Stormfly's got to stop again, and he must know that Stormfly's got to stop again. You know, you just have to do the math to work that out. But surely he's already burnt too much fuel to make this to the end. Not quite sure. If you know the guy in front of you's got to stop again, and you don't, surely you just save a bit of fuel. But Stormfly is in. That unleashes Kevin into first place. Avalon Shadow on those medium tyres. He will run to the end. He's 2.1 seconds back. I think Kevin, if he doesn't start saving a lot of fuel, is going to be vulnerable. He's going to be vulnerable from Avalon. He's going to be vulnerable if TJ can get past him. From TJ, he may be vulnerable. Wiggy up into fourth. Wiggy, though, is not going to make it to the end as he currently is, but is currently running in the top half of this race. Stormfly just into the pits. The car is put down. The fuel is going on board. And then he will be unleashed on the track. And we'll see what he brings to the last 5 laps of this race. If indeed he makes those last 5 laps. And I don't know who that was that just joined the room. But welcome to the room. And now please leave because you are not invited. Someone forgot to put... actually, it might be a friend of someone running the room anyway. Right, so Kevin, 77 in the lead now. 2.1 seconds clear of Avalon Shadow. Avalon Shadow hunting, desperately hunting him down for the end of this race. He is followed very closely at the moment by TJ. Now, this Alpha and this Renault Megane have had ding-dong battles every race here. Really close, but I've got to say they've been very fair and very honest racing. No faffing about, none of this bullshit that we've seen in other races with people getting their elbows out and being a bit aggressive. No, they've been bang on fair. You know, they've taken their chances when they've come. Credit to them. Great battles. We make some great footage. And to be fair, when I've got great footage, it makes my job easy. As a massive lag spike. Don't know what's going on now. Wiggy in fourth place at the moment. We know he's going to have to pit again. So this Stormfly, 22 seconds is the difference. 34 the difference between him and the lead of this race. Is there any chance? Is there any chance at all for him to make any inroads? Any chance at all? Just do not know if there's an opportunity here. I don't know if he's going to be close enough to make a move. I think it really depends on if and when Kevin jumps into the pits. I think that's the only opportunity that there is going to be to make any inroads. But has he started to drop now into a fuel saving hole? And if he has, because TJ has already made it round Avalon now, why has Avalon had a problem? Because he's already 7 seconds back from TJ. So Avalon's clearly had a slide, had an issue somewhere while I was looking elsewhere. As generally happens to me, is I miss all the good shit. But the pace in this race has not been the pace we used to seeing. And we've seen some great pace, particularly in the last race, with 3, would have been 4, but for a penalty. With 3 making it into the very last. And that could be because the weather's changing, it's dark. But Kevin in the lead, 4.1 seconds clear. TJ in second place in that Renault Megane, running to the end of this race. Kevin, it looks like now he has gone full fuel save on those hard tyres now. He did take a lot out at the beginning, but starting to just a little bit of fuel saving to keep that car, and maybe he will make it to the end. I think the deeper we're going into this race, the more I think he's going to make it. TJ in second though, and who's that crashing again? That I think was Grizz Troopers. It was indeed Grizz Troopers. Avalon Shadow through in third. Wiggy into the pits. That will release Stormfly, but I think it's too little too late. Third time the charm, not this time. I think it's going to be another case of just too little too late. Not quite making it. But we'll see. You don't know what. Anything can happen. It's happened before that Kevin has actually crashed before. It doesn't happen very often, but he has crashed before. Usually quite consistent. And I mean, at the moment, of 55.7, 55.0, 55.5, 55.6, 55.3, 55.0, 55.8. And that's from lap 4 to lap 12, with a couple of anomalies in there, which will be for pit stops. And a shit lap, possibly. So you've got to say, you know, consistency like that is the sort of consistency that wins you a race. 4.4 seconds is clear at the minute on lap 13. Got 3 laps to go after this one. If they make it that far, 25 minutes. I don't actually think we're going to make lap 16 this time out. I think this race is over on lap 15, and I think that is going to be the saving grace for Kevin and the disappointment for TJ, for Avalon Shadow, and for Stormfly. Any one of these 4 could have absolutely melted and dominated this race from at any point in the race. Gotta say, Stormfly in 4th. Let's assume he finishes in 4th and doesn't make any. I mean, he makes it higher up, even better. But picks up a 4-second penalty, so starts at the back of the grid. Picks up a 4-second penalty on lap number 1. Struggles to get the car through. Makes it up the order finally. Then has to go into pits early. Back into last place. Gets the car through. Then drops back down the order again. Gets the car through. Then has to pit. Now can't do better than 4th place, but some pace still. He's just put in the fastest lap of the race, a 1:53.4. He put in it on the last lap. Is he going to better that this lap? As we'll see him cross the line, see if he's bettered that lap. No, he hasn't. But it's still a decent lap of 55.4. So Kevin now opening up that gap. It's 4.9 seconds, and it's not going to be a 16-lap race this time out. It's going to be 15 laps only. So that gives TJ, who is 4 seconds back, he has got 4.8 seconds to make up in essentially a lap and a half. But not only has he got to make up 4.8 seconds if he wants to win the race, he's got to make sure that that gap of 2.3 behind doesn't get closed up and he doesn't get swallowed up by the on-rushing Avalon Shadow in that Alpha 155. Are they regretting not resetting the room before this race? Now they're having to complete this race in pitch darkness here at Trial Mountain, and it changes the complexion of this race so much. You've got the little indoor section, or I can call it indoor, you're in a tunnel, but there's lights there and it lights it up and it makes it feel like daytime. You've got this section here which isn't super dark, but you've got that forest section at the back where it is pitch black and very difficult to spot your break points, very difficult to spot your apexes as we head into what will be, but actually I think they might make it. Let's have a look when they cross the line here. If they cross the line with less than 1:54, there will be a lap 16 for the top 3. Not for Stormfly. Doesn't matter what he does. Stormfly is not going to get an opportunity to catch him. He will finish this race in 4th place. So here are your top 3. It's 4.7 seconds ahead for Kevin 77. It is TJ in 2nd place. He has got the Alpha of Avalon Shadow. Just over half a second behind him. They've got 2 laps of racing. 1 lap, he's definitely holding him off. 2 laps, this pressure is going to be fully sustained. Avalon's got, I think the only saving grace might be if Avalon doesn't get this move done quickly. Avalon needs this race to finish on lap 15. But I think it's going another lap. It's certainly going another lap for Kevin. I really think these 2 are going to go another lap. Avalon may go for the overtake. He'll make this overtake now, but he hasn't got the fuel to run 16 laps of this race. He needs to hope. He needs to hope and pray that something happens to make this a 15-lap race, because TJ's got that extra fuel. He's not going to run out and be dribbling home this time. Avalon, we don't see him run out of fuel, certainly not unless he's close to the line, but there are still 45 seconds of this lap, of this race to go, and a lot more than that of the lap. So essentially they will be on lap 16, and there's nothing Avalon can do to stop TJ. Absolutely nothing. He hasn't got the fuel. He's not got the fuel to hold him off. TJ can absolutely pedal to metal now. He's not even in the red as they approach the line. Will they make it lap 16? Kevin does make it lap 16. Avalon goes through lap 16. TJ also through to make lap 16. TJ is going to breeze past Avalon now. Is Avalon already running out of fuel? Has he got anything? Can he hold off? Well, he can't. There's nothing he can do. He knows he's going to finish third. He can't. He knows Stormfly can't catch him. Stormfly just crossing the line now. That's the end of the race for him. He finishes in 4th place. Wiggle come home with a very respectable 5th place in that Tenza. Good performance from him in that last race. Yellow Sausages will come home in 6th place. What's the gap between TJ and Kevin? 2.6 seconds. Is the charge on? Kevin's got a lot less fuel. TJ's only just turned red. This could actually go to the wire. If Kevin's not got the fuel to continue this, could this be a masterstroke on the last lap from TJ? As we see Craig coming home in 8th place. We'll see Phil coming home in 9th. Chris Troopers in 10th. Everyone else is finished. It's just these 3 left. We know Avalon Shadow now. There he is. He's out of fuel. He's going to be the last one to come home. But that's not going to mean much as the gap gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Here is the charge from TJ. 2.1 seconds is the gap. The fuel on Kevin's car, very low. The fuel on TJ's car, also very low. Has he got enough or left in those medium tyres to close up that gap and make the overtake? It's down to 1.9 seconds. He's running out of corners. There are 2 corners left now. Not close enough. I think Kevin's done enough to hold him off. He wasn't that far ahead. Look at the gap closing. Gap closing, gap closing, gap closing into the penultimate turn. 1 turn left. Kevin needs a good exit and he should be able to stay ahead if he's got the fuel. He's got the fuel. He stays ahead in that Porsche Cayman. TJ also makes it with the fuel, but only in 2nd. Kevin through in the lead of this race. TJ in 2nd place. What a finish. What a finish to this race that was. Avalon praying for the race to finish on lap 15. Went for the move. Yeah, maybe you're right, Stormfly. Maybe that was the answer. But getting that 4-second penalty on that one definitely didn't help. Well, basically that 4 seconds was the difference between lap 16 and not lap 16. Because when you cross the line, they're just gone past, about 4 seconds past the time. So if you look, that 4-second penalty, which probably cost you a little bit more than that, would have been the difference between you passing, again, getting the opportunity to pass someone with no fuel on the final lap of the race. So twice a penalty has cost you lap 16 and an easy nick. Oh, how them brakes do break us. Yeah, I thought you might. What I'm going to do is I'm going to write down on a list the people who I think are definitely going to change, and then I'm going to bring it up on the stream and see how close I am to being right. So there we go, all over. Another win from Kevin. What a win to pull that off. 2nd place from TJ, another good performance from him. Do you know what? He came up with the idea for this GR4 tournament. If I'd realised he was going to be this good, I would have said no. But no, it's been brilliant, absolutely brilliant, this GR4 tournament. This is, I think this is my favourite format. I think I like this more than any other race. I know you shouldn't have a favourite, but that's what they say about your children anyway. And these races I like my kids. But I think this is my favourite. I think definitely this is the one that I'm going to leave most of my money to when I pop off. But there we go. It's all over. Race number 3 finished. Saving the replay there. I didn't save the others. I need someone to send them to me because I forgot to save them. But But what an absolute doozy of a race. So there we go. 3 races done. What can we say? Nothing else to say, really. It's been phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. I've had great fun tonight watching these. I hope you have too, and I hope you have fun watching them later on, doing whatever you are doing. So I have been Urban Pirate. This has been Black Flag Racing TV. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you again on Wednesday for the opening of the new GR3 tournament. It's been emotional.